Welcome everybody. Hope you're having a great hump day, as I like to call it. Yes, there's my joy captain. Look at you. Woo-hoo.
We are bringing joy to the holiday season.
Yes, you are. Having a great hump day, as I like to call it. Yes, there's my joy.
Hello, everyone.
I got him. We have my friend Patrick here. Trina, you met Patrick, right?
Yeah, we had a wonderful time together in Austin. It was awesome.
She's
He
how
really
I saw you,
supported
Patrick.
me.
She's responsible for how I saw you at Zone.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like, how did you even see me?
Because we did that interview, right? Is that the one? The men?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello again, Trina. It's nice to meet you again.
Oh, thank you so much. I just love your voice. It's so beautiful and resonating. Patrick gave me this beautiful hug, and he just like, and it's just like, after that, my whole body just felt so, I don't know, in tune, or just like relaxed and supported. It's really cool. It just really brought my presence to like actually physically feeling what a difference that resonance and frequency makes, right? Like the frequency of just like the noises that we make and how that feels in our body. And I could just feel that. It was really beautiful. Yeah.
What I like to say,
and then, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what I like to say is, we all know this one: knowledge is power, but feeling is understanding. And through that feeling, we understand. It's like, that's the only way I can put it into words. It's like you're explaining, it's like, just feel connected. Like,
Oh, is there anyone willing to be co-host to let people in? I thought I didn't have a waiting room.
Recording in progress.
We're good. Hi, Janet. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming today and choosing you and taking back control of your life to living a stress-free, joyful holiday. Yay for you. We get to celebrate. We get to celebrate you, because that is a big deal, you being here today. So I want to honor you and acknowledge you and thank you for being here. So I wanted to introduce yourselves and let us know where you're from, where you're joining us from, and what you're hoping to get from this call today. You want to just go around? Maria, you want to go first?
Hello, everyone. So I am Maria, and what kind of introduction would you like?
Yeah, where are you in the world, and what are you looking forward to as far what like called you to this?
Okay, so I am in the Phoenix area, in Arizona, and I know everyone here. So what I'm looking forward to getting is just peace in my life right now. Just having a peaceful holiday, having a peaceful life around me, and creating that for the people around me also.
That's beautiful.
Just having peace. Just that's all I ask. Peace and love, and just being in gratitude, tapping in my heart with everybody, and just being love and creating that space for everybody. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing.
Yes. Intention is everything. So you're in the right place. Just hang with us and implement the tips and techniques that you'll hear in this journey, and I will almost guarantee that you'll have more peace in your life. Patrick, would you like to go next?
Yes. I'm here from northern Wisconsin, and I'm just looking to connect with others, to really feel that resonance, feel that love, feel the love of being, of being able to live. So 7 years ago, I had a near-death experience. I shouldn't be alive. I got it done. My skull, broke my neck in 3 spots, my backbone in 5 spots, 6 ribs, both knees. I was in a coma for a week. And I'm like, man, to be able to come up and be able to walk and talk and speak, I'm like, I'm doing this, man. I'm choosing to live. So I just, I just like connecting with others and like, and inspiring others to choose life. And like, I like to say is that being is freeing. And that starts with choosing us.
And you chose you today too, my friend. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
Beautiful. I love your heart.
Mm.
Danielle.
Hello, Margarita. Thank you so much for hosting this incredible event, first of all. And for me, I just flew across the country last night from Colorado, and now I'm in Connecticut. And for me, my intention for this holiday season and being here is being present and connected. So for me, this time of year is usually go, 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 go. And it's being connected to my intention and being in the moment and not thinking 7 steps ahead of everything I get to complete, but enjoying the entire journey and grounding myself in the intention for the season. This is a season of giving and generosity. And whatever you believe, I'm not judging at all, but it's like, okay, I mean, Christ was born and giving in generosity. So instead of it being about how many presents I can buy and, how many parties I can go to, it's connection, it's giving and generosity. And that could just be my time and not a monetary thing. And that I get to live joyfully and abundantly during this time. So,
Oh, that was so powerful. My whole body got God bumps, as I heard someone say recently. I could hear your heart, and you have such a generous, loving heart, and your intention is beautiful. Thank you for sharing it. Trina.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, the reason I came, Margarita, is because you invited me, and I just want to thank you so much for inviting me to be, because I haven't stopped to think about the season at all, and just this invitation is like so powerful, right? Like, being is freezing, choose life, ground myself in the intention of the season. Like, thank you. This is a gift to me, being able to be present for just be present and receive and give in generosity. Thank you, Danielle. I feel like Danielle is like speaks my language every time I hear her speak. It's like, yeah, whatever Danielle said, that's what I'm experiencing too. Yep. That's awesome.
Trina, I'm so
Okay.
honored and grateful to have you in this room. Thank you for accepting my invitation to be here. And yes, you get to ground in this season. And I know that if you stay throughout the journey, that I'll see that your radiance popping. I'm feeling a little darkness around you today, and it's not normal for me to feel that on you. So we're gonna change and shift that. Okay, you ready?
Oh wow, thank you.
Yes, Janet.
Hi. So yeah, I echo Danielle as well. I'm from Connecticut. Live in Maryland, but I'm born and raised in Connecticut. I just got back last night. I seem to have caught a bug. So if I'm eating saltines or drinking some ginger ale, it's because I've got an upset stomach today and I've been in the bathroom. So I'm here because you asked me to be here, and I'm glad to be here. I want to connect more with people. I want to be in the season of giving and generosity. I want to be responsible 100% of the time for myself and my actions, so I can source transformation not only in myself but in others, and continue to do that. So I get to be here to learn and to share about how, as we share in generosity, we also receive. So as I'm sharing what you asked me to share today, I'm also receiving and reminding myself of what it is to be at peace during the holiday season and not to be in that rushed spirit. And if you can do that, I think the embodiment of just grounding yourself and being generous and sourcing goodness and love around you, it comes back to you. What you give away comes back to you. And I'm learning that more and more. So I'm here because when I committed to you to be here. And 2, I'm here in generosity so I can give to others as well as receive to myself. And 3, I'm here because I want to be here and I want to learn what you have to say. So I'll be at peace and quiet today, trying to nurse myself back to health. But if I have to scoot out for a minute, I hope you understand why.
Yes, sending you some healing energy. Thank you for sharing. And because I do energy work, if you massage your stomach counterclockwise, so against the way that the large intensive runs, so go opposite it, and it'll help take off that excess energy that is creating the pain. And it'll really start to make your stomach feel better. Like just rub it counterclockwise.
Okay.
Just rubbing it while you're listening, and it'll really help to take away the pain.
I'll take away the nausea.
Yes, it will.
Very good.
Hi, we have a new member joining us, Rosalind. We were just going around introducing ourselves, where we're from. Thank you for coming. And also, like, what brought you to this workshop today? If you are interested in sharing, I'd love to have you share. Okay. Oh, there she is.
I am coming to support other people in this program. And I was looking forward to hearing what other people have to say for a few minutes, because I was able to clear some time just for a few minutes. I've got to get running, but yes, I would love to see how other people. This is why I'm on mute.
So much.
So, but thank y'all. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you so much. I just want to say how full I feel right now, having all of you guys show up for this event. And it's amazing when you set your intention to something, what can be created in such a short amount of time. And this is proof. This is proof that even though you're scared and you don't know what you're going to do, just taking action gets you there. Like, I'm here not even knowing what I was going to talk about or what, and this is proof that it all just takes committed action and having a vision so powerful and grounding in your vision that everything that you do propels you toward that, and then things just open up for you. And this is it. So this is what this 3-day journey is really focusing about. It's like the power of intention and also how you can take back control of your mindset. And so I wanted to quickly just set the intention for the day. And I want to start with a welcome breath so we can all just be grounded and feel safe and supported in this container while we move forward, so that we can share in generosity and be completely vulnerable and know that we're safe. So everything that is talked about in here will stay in here. All right, so we're going to close our eyes, rub our hands together, shake them off, and just lay them on your lap. And as you lay your hands on your lap, you feel that energy rush down your legs, out of your feet, down into the core of earth, grounding that energy, being grateful to earth for keeping you on your feet. And as you ground into the earth, focus now on your crown chakra, lifting up into the heavens, allowing celestial, silver and gold swirling light to enter. This light is loving, supportive, compassionate, safe, energizing, and healing. Allow it to penetrate every cell of your body as it twirls down, connecting you to the heaven, to your higher self. And now take a deep, slow breath for 5 counts in your nose. And hold for 3 counts. And then release for 5 counts through your mouth. When you breathe in your nose, it's energizing. When you breathe out your mouth, you release stagnant, cold energy. One more breath like that. And as you breathe out all the worry, all the stress, all the insecurities, all the to-do list. Ground yourself in today, in this moment, in the present, in this room. Take time to reflect on one thing you're grateful for. Perhaps there's two things you're grateful for. Ground yourself in that. Now, as you're thinking about those things, put your hands to your heart center and say thank you out loud. And then one more time, take a deep breath in. As you exhale, just fill yourself up with love for you, for being here today, for choosing life, choosing you. When you're ready, you can come back. Thank you. Oh, that was beautiful. I think when we meditate together, it just really amplifies the intention of it. And I could feel it. I could feel so completely grounded and just, I don't know, open, free. So thank you for that. So as we move on, I want to say, I know that the holidays can be very stressful for a lot of us. There's so many people who are struggling every day, and in the holidays, it just gets compounded. You know, the have tos, the should do's, the traveling, the forced family fun, as I call it. And it's hard to navigate. And a lot of the times we don't have the tools or the support to overcome them or to even speak freely about them, to be able to uncover what that belief might be that is stopping us, or maybe we're coming up with a story that's not even there. Maybe we keep saying, my cousin doesn't like me because of this, and then it's like really not even about me. And so that's what we're here to uncover today. Like, are these thoughts and stresses real, or are you really coming up with them in your mind? And up until now, I realized that I was limiting myself. I was limiting my abilities. I was playing small and I was dimming my light for so long. And I think in my experience is that a lot of us do that. A lot of us feel not good enough. A lot of us feel like we're not worthy. We feel like somebody's bad day is because of us. Somebody makes a comment and we make it about us when it like really had nothing to do with us at all. And I want the space to be a safe space for feelings and thoughts to be respected and valued. Because this is a time when we really get to reach out to our community and ask for support. And I think society has gotten to a place where we feel if we ask for support, we're weak in some way. And I want to shift that norm, because it's not who we are as social beings. We're humans who love to collaborate and be in community and hugging everybody all the time, you know, like dancing even, and being joyful. Being joyful is our innate birthright, and we're born with this ability to just live free. And there are things that happen as we grow up that start to cut away at our freedom for being joyful, for our freedom to be unbridled and in our authentic selves. And today and in the next 3 days, I invite you to get curious about thinking a different way. Get curious about what might be true and what might not be true. Curious about reformatting and reframing those beliefs. And also getting curious as to why, what's underneath that? What story are you playing out? Is it real? Is it your belief? Is it your story or somebody else's story that was implanted in you? So that's what we're up to. And that's what you could expect to get, is those tips and an awareness of things that you didn't know. And so I wanted to ask you quickly, like, what things in the holidays bring you joy? Anybody want to share, like, what things bring you joy in the holidays?
I love being with my family.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing that's most meaningful to me is like it's just like this relaxing. It's like I don't have to worry about anything. I just get to like whatever, bake cookies or play cards or talk to my dad or my mom or like just it's about fun and it's about just releasing all those things that you invited us to not worry about, right? All the to-do list that like we just put them aside. And I feel like I haven't given myself that for a long time for yeah, I think my brain could use some downtime.
Yes, Danielle.
So for me, what brings me joy is creating that space of peace, like Maria was saying, of peace, of calmness, so that in the busyness of life and being out there, like I don't even go shopping before Thanksgiving because I'm so not ready for it to be Christmas. Like I get to stay in the holiday I'm in. And so that is my biggest reward and joy is the day after Thanksgiving, decorating my house for Christmas. And at night, just sitting peacefully with all the lights on and just the quiet of snow falling. And this past weekend, it was a snow globe in Winter Park. And just creating that peace, consciously choosing a space that is peaceful so that when it is busy and crazy and lots of connection, that I do have that self-care. And that's what I'm hearing from you, Trina, as well, as creating this safe space to recharge batteries and reconnect with self. So that's what brings me joy.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else like to share? What brings me joy is snow and white Christmases and making snow angels, because I feel like my inner child comes out when I do that. Go ahead, Patrick.
I was just gonna say what brings me joy, yes, is exactly. It's going outside, feeling the goodness of nature, like going snowboarding when I could. I'm a little broken still, but when I could, and just enjoying nature, going snowmobiling, like just enjoying the goodness of what it is. Like, oh yeah, I could easily see that it's like, oh, it's cold and it's white and it's not as fun, but like just seeing it for what it is and having enthusiasm, being like, thank you, having gratitude.
Another thing that brings me joy is seeing my kids. They love the holidays. They love to decorate. They love to tell me about their Christmas list, and the morning seeing them opening their presents and how much they love being with family when we go on vacation. That brings me so much joy. And it's so important that they have a place that they really feel loved and complete and a part of. So that brings me joy. But speaking of joy, I wanted to introduce to you our first guest speaker. And she's the one and only joy captain herself, my dear friend, Danielle Longano, who is currently a transformational coach and certified life coach. A proud graduate of Villanova University, she was inspired to serve others and volunteer throughout Central America. After fulfilling career in finance, property management, and food service, Danielle has returned to giving and generosity and inspires others to do what inspires them. Danielle's specialty is igniting joy and abundance in your daily life. She is committed to creating a world of abundance, love, and joy. Please help me welcome Danielle today.
Thank you, Margarita. That was awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. And hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing joy and abundance and choosing to be open during this holiday season, especially, and every season moving forward, in choosing you and how you get to up level to create joy in everything. And so many people, by a show of hands, who thinks or knows the difference between joy and happiness? It's very confusing for a lot of people. They think joy is happiness. So they think, oh, well, how am I supposed to be happy all the time? Am I being real if I'm happy all the time? So joy is very different than happiness. Joy is an inner feeling. Joy is knowing that the blue sky is above the clouds. So for the analyzers out there, what percentage of the time is there a blue sky above the clouds?
California, like 90%.
100% of the time, it's always blue above the clouds.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Yes, it's always blue above the clouds. Okay. So joy is trusting that, knowing that there is the blue sky above the clouds. Yes, 100%, Margarita, not 90.
I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't listening, obviously.
So happiness is an outward expression. So yes, it's one of our feelings. We get to be happy, we get to be angry, we get to be sad. That's just being human. So it's not that you have to be happy all the time. I can be joyful and sad at the exact same time. So I have 7 easy things that you can do every single day to create joy and abundance in your life, in every pillar of your life. Because how many people that you know, myself included, struggle in your lives? Who struggles with their relationships with family and friends, their relationships with their significant other, finances? Come on, give me finances, money. Who struggles with money? Okay, who struggles with their health, their physical activity, their mental health? Okay, we all struggle. And there's a pill for everything. There is an instant gratification. That is what we as a society have turned into. Our ancestors knew that we got to plant the seed, we got to tend to the crop, and then we harvested. Nowadays, we want instant gratification. We want to plant the seed and we want the results. We want to harvest the crop right away. Nobody's willing to wait for anything. We think, okay, we want instant results. And if it's not happening right away, we're out. On to the next thing. So the secret ingredient, first of all, is time. Time is the secret ingredient. We get to tend to the crop. So these are 7 ways daily that you get to tend the crop to create the results of joy and abundance. So who wants to go from struggle and lack and yuckiness to joy and abundance in every area of your life? Everyone? Yeah. If you're not, then I don't know what you're doing here. But okay. All right. So the first way to create joy and abundance every day is give yourself permission to be joyful. How many people think, I don't deserve to be joyful? I don't deserve to have everything I want in my life. Yeah. Just like me. So it's giving yourself permission to be joyful. Saying to yourself every morning you wake up, I'm giving myself permission to be joyful today. Again, it doesn't mean I get to be happy. It means that I know that the blue sky is up there. I know it's there. I might not see it, but I know it's there. So give yourself permission. Okay, number 2, you get to let go of the past. You can't change the past. The past is behind you. So tell me, how many people do you know drive their car looking through the rearview mirror? Anyone? Anyone? And
Zero.
I'm an expert at driving on the left side of the road in a right side of the road car, but I do not drive my car looking through the rearview mirror. But yet, how many of us live in the past? The past is what we know. We have collected so much evidence of what doesn't work in our past. And we project it into the future. Who does this in relationships? Oh, I've been hurt before. I've been cheated on. I lost $1 million in the stock market. So what do? You project that into the future. This is going to happen to me again. And then guess what? It happens. Because you projected it into the future. You have written your future. So what would it be like to let go of the past? The future is unknown. We have no idea. You don't sit, Janet, maybe today you do, but you don't sit and say, oh my gosh, I am so not going to order the shrimp for dinner because it made me sick.
That's what I had last night.
So,
I did. I think it made me sick.
So typically, we're excited about what's for dinner. It's the unknown. We're like, woohoo! It's awesome. Whatever I choose is going to be great. We don't project unless we had a bad episode the night before. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to pick the shrimp because it's going to make me sick. And then look, it made her sick. So let go of the past. We can't change the past. And the future is unknown. We get to write it. Who wants to be the CEO of your life? I do. I want to write my story. I'm going to be the writer, the director, the producer, and the star of the movie of my life. So I get to let go of everything in the past. The past has gotten me to where I am today, and I'm grateful for that. So number 2 is letting go of the past. Number 3, not comparing yourself to others. In society today with social media, we are constantly comparing ourselves to other people. We have no idea what their journey is. If everyone took off the filters and presented themselves without the masks on to show only the best parts of themselves, we would do a service to society. Because right now, what are we saying to everybody else? That I'm only showing you my best parts? When do you relate to other people? Do you relate to them only when you see the best parts of them? Or do you relate to them when they show the not so great parts? When they're authentic and vulnerable? And I was reading a book. It's called The Slight Edge. And I wrote this quote down yesterday. When you compete against everyone else, no one wants to help you. But when you compete against yourself, everybody wants to help you. So stop comparing yourself to others. We're all on a journey. What would it be like if we supported each other on that journey rather than compare each other? Okay. Woo. All right. Well, on that note, accept your flaws. Okay. Number 4 is accepting your flaws. We are all individuals. And at least for me, I am the biggest critic of myself. I see greatness in everybody else, and it takes so much more for me to see my greatness. Anyone else like that? Yeah. Yeah. So my invitation is to see yourself through everyone else's eyes. So accept your flaws. You're perfectly imperfect. Unapologetically the way you are. Now, if you practice these every single day, imagine the power that you're creating in yourself. The power to stand unapologetically as yourselves. So here we go into gratitude. Gratitude every single day. And some days it takes me digging deep for what to be grateful for, whether it's my joy mug or just waking up in the morning, being grateful. So my invitation there is every single day, write down first thing in the morning, 3 things that you're grateful for. And then right before bed, 3 things reflecting on your day that you're grateful for. And let me tell you, that compounds. And all of a sudden, instead of complaining about what's not working in your life, you're grateful for so many things. And there's so many things out there to be grateful for. Along those notes, also giving without expecting anything in return. How many of us we give with strings attached? We're expecting something in return. So is that truly giving in generosity? When we have expectations, how many, especially our significant others? Oh my gosh, how conditional is that? When we give and we have expectations. And then what happens? Anyone? What happens when somebody doesn't give us back what we were expecting?
Have resentment.
Yeah. Yeah. Resentment. So is that giving and generosity? No. That's being a taker. Who wants to be in a relationship with a taker? I don't. So yeah, so giving without expecting anything in return. How awesome is it when you give to somebody out of pure generosity? What do you receive back?
Get the same thing back.
I don't know. I just feel like I receive an empty bank account, to be honest. That's what I feel. Because I feel like I've given in generosity and I had a block to receiving. So, yeah.
So, Trina, my question to you is, in your giving and generosity, are you expecting anything in return? Because what I'm hearing is you're expecting
maybe
a full bank account.
Well, yeah. I think I just expected that I just expected that, yeah, maybe I had some expectations there. Yeah, but an unwillingness to receive, so it's a little bit broken. I feel like I've shifted a lot of that this past week, and I've been willing to receive, and just even bringing my daughter's earrings, right? Like,
yeah,
that was a story since March. I hadn't actually sold a pair of earrings, and then I just sold 6 pairs and made $400 US. So, like, received. Yeah, and so that was a huge shift, right? And yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. So yeah. And
Yeah.
sacrifice.
So I guess I just keep going.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Well, and practicing this daily. So it's one of those things that there are 7 easy steps to do every day, but they're also easy not to do.
Right.
And they compound. If you know about compounding interest with your money, it's the same thing with your daily habits. You might not see results tomorrow, but they will compound over time. And so when you look back 5-10 years from now, you're going to see those results compounding.
See, yeah. I'm gonna toy with this one a little bit more because I really think the breakthrough for me is being willing to have an exchange, right? So giving in generosity and being willing to receive in generosity. I feel like that's where I was broken. That's what ended up in the broken bank account or the empty bank account, right? Which I feel was what I generated for a purpose, but I'm just ready to shift that because I think for me it's like I will, there gets to be a positive energy exchange.
Yeah.
And usually that's just been I give of my love and service to people. And I want to presence this actually, because this happened for me at Zone. And Patrick was a part of this because I showed up and I just gave and I just gave and I just gave. And then I said something about my leg hurting to one lady. And she's like, oh yeah, I could help you fix that. It's $1,300. I was like, great. And then this Kim Thornton came along and I just right after, and I said something and she just started asking me, like just being present in that moment, the same way that I am present and generous to other people. And she just started asking me, what would this pain in your leg represent? She started walking me through it. And then Patrick came up during that moment and they both held me like in generosity and love. And it was like an opportunity to receive. And it was just a really good like exercise for me to understand that it's like, it's a cycle, right? Like you receive so that you can give. And as we receive, we fill up so that we can give even more.
Yes. So I love this. I love that both Patrick and Trina are present for this. So Patrick, in your experience of that, when you were giving, were you expecting anything in return?
Absolutely not.
Where should I put it?
And what did you receive?
I received just the feeling of wholeness, completion. I just felt exactly joy, the connected. I felt the gratitude of serving. I'm just like, oh, it felt so good just to be there for someone else.
And did that feel scarce and lack or abundant?
If abundant is the right word, we'll say abundant. Yes.
Okay. So for everyone, like this is what it's about. So yes, Trina, you nailed it right there. By giving in generosity and receiving, it creates that circle. Because there are so many people out there, moms especially. How many moms sacrifice for your kids? How many times do you give up, put yourself last for your children? Okay. Sacrifice is not giving. Sacrifice is not giving. It's taking. Go ahead, Janet.
I want to just interject here and compound what you're saying. Michael had said one time, and it really resonated with me about this receiving thing. And I've been a victim of being with people who don't receive. And the message was, if you're not open to receive, put yourself in that person's shoes. They're trying to give, right? And you receive, and then when you try to give back and they reject it, that makes me feel lesser. It makes me feel not important. It hurts me if you don't receive what I'm giving, because I've received from you and I want to give back. And when I give back, it bounces off you and comes back. It's like I can't, it's like you won't let me in. So it doesn't complete the circle. So that really resonated with me. And I had conversations with people about the importance of receiving, because receiving doesn't mean it's all about me because you're giving to me. Receiving is actually a gift you're giving to the other person when you accept their gift in return. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Janet. And I love all the mirrors in here. And that was the feedback that landed with my buddy when I was a student in transformation. Was I was a lone wolf, and he didn't feel like he was important enough for me to receive his support. And it was the first time that, Janet, like you just said, like it gets to be a gift for the other person. So I get to receive. And
it's not a selfish thing. It's actually a generous thing to receive. And that was something with my spouse that I had to talk about. You know, that block was there. It's not used to receiving at all. And so when that was put into the light and seen, it was a game changer. Like, the people don't realize, they think they're being nice by saying, no, you don't have to give me anything. You don't have to, no, it's okay. You know, I don't want anything. Really, it's rejection. That's what I feel. I feel rejected if you won't receive what I'm giving. It could be words, and that's bounced back at me before. It could be a gift. It could be a task that you're doing for them, and they're like, nope, I don't need your help. I can take care of it myself. I will do this, do that, do this, do that, all by my, and it's like, why won't you let me help you? Do you not like me? I mean, I'm starting to take it personal. So being on the receiving end is important. It's almost a gift. So remember that.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Janet. And so, just an analogy, on the airplane, we've all heard this, that we put our oxygen mask on ourselves first, and then we put it on our loved ones. Right. So by sacrificing, putting ourselves last, are we supporting anybody? Are we supporting our children, our significant other, our employer, our employees, ourselves? No. So we all get to choose ourselves first, giving ourselves permission, and that will serve others. So number 7 is staying focused on your dream or your vision. So whether that's writing it out every single day, or looking, having it pinned up on your bathroom mirror, or whatever you look at, your coffee pot every morning, grounding yourself in your vision, your why. Why do you wake up in the morning? And when you wake up, do you wake up and hit snooze 17 times because you have nothing to look forward to in the day and you don't want to get out of bed? Or do you wake up 5 minutes before your alarm, jump out of bed, excited to embrace the day and live your vision? Because let me tell you, Kobe Bryant, that's what he did every day from when he was 5 years old. And if you have not seen his retirement video, it is incredible. It is incredible. So I invite you all to Google his retirement video, Dear Basketball. That man was committed to his vision, to his dream. As a 5-year-old child, he declared what he was committed to creating. Wow. So what in your life are you so committed to? Why are you here? Because we all have gifts to give, and we get to figure out what our purpose is here and share that. We give it away. Give it in generosity, like Margarita is right now. You are an inspiration. You are giving away your gift. And I commend you for that. And thank you for inviting all of us to participate with you. So thank you for giving me this time, everyone.
Thank you, Danielle. I have a question, Danielle. Can I ask a question about some of the things that you said?
I would love a question.
So in the beginning, you said joy is knowing there's blue sky above the clouds. Is that the same thing as being an optimist?
So the question I'm hearing is like seeing the cup half full versus half empty. Is that what being an optimist is for you?
I think so. Well, yeah. Always looking at the positive side. Yeah. And if you stay focused on that.
For me, yes. In my experience, the cup isn't half full, it's overflowing. It is overflowing at every given time. So if that's being an optimist, it's seeing possibilities in every situation rather than struggles, rather than limiting beliefs, rather than psychological assessment, rather than boundaries. Boundaries to me are limitations. I don't see those. I choose to see the possibilities and not being dependent on what those look like. And that's a breakthrough for me, because if it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go, then it was a failure.
I get that. So the boundary thing, like sometimes do you feel like you have to put boundaries up in order to keep your joy?
No, because again, boundaries to me are limitations.
So yeah, we get to talk more about that sometime. I feel
another walk around the lake.
I know, right? Yes, I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I believe that's true. This is a good conversation. I feel like there's people that if we let them in, who here can resonate with this? Like if you let somebody into your life and they are a person that you don't choose, right? They're not a person that affects you. I know it's all filters, right? And we source everything, but there are people that I just don't agree with, right? I don't hate them. I still love them. And I say, I love you. I want the best for you. But I just don't agree with them. And that's okay. But when they're in your life and they drain you in one way or another, you have to set boundaries. And I think, and I'm struggling with this. This is something I'm working really hard on right now personally, that if I don't set boundaries up, then I have to trust people sometimes, right? If I need a ride to the airport, I need to trust that you're going to take me to the airport or the train station. If you say, can I bring something to dinner? And you say, sure, if you really want to. They say, I'd like to bring potatoes, and she's 2 hours late to dinner, an hour and a half late to dinner, and then laughs it off and excuse. You learn not to trust the person. You still love them, but you go, oh, that's just them. We're not going to put that cup in their hands anymore. So that's a boundary, right? Not to depend on this person for anything major. Is that a boundary? Is that just learning from your past?
So let me ask this. When you say that they let you down, who are you giving the power to?
I've given the power to the person when I depend on them for a ride to a train station and I almost missed the train, or I have missed the train. I depend on them to bring something for dinner and it doesn't arrive until 2 hours later. So in generosity, you say, I love you, come to dinner. I love you. They offer to do things for me. In generosity, I say, sure, because I'm not going to reject them. Do all the things. And I love them. But I have to set boundaries up, not to depend on them. Yes, Trina, you want to speak.
Trina,
I for sure do. I do, because Shanda has been talking about this all year, and I've listened to her for the last 11 months talking about raising her standards. and I see her cutting people out of her life, and she talks about cutting people out of her life who are not holding her standard. And so there's no shame in that. Like, you just say, I love you. So people, I know some people really just don't like the word boundary, right? And so some people really object to that. And so I would say, just like, if you don't like the word boundary, like, say just like, oh, like, that just doesn't meet my standards. Like, I love you. There's no boundary between you and me and my love for you. I'm operating in this space. I'm playing this game, and you can join me in this game if you're willing to live these standards. And if you're not, there's no boundary in the love that you get to receive, and you get to play a different game, and there's no judgment. If you want to play basketball, you play basketball. If you want to play tennis, you play tennis. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to play an Olympic gold game with me, this is the way that you're going to show up in your life, and I'm not going to accept less than that.
So if
Does
they
that support?
if they show up at a dinner, right? Because this person's a family member, and they basically jump into your circle and start correcting you and blaming you right there in front of everybody constantly. How do you
So you
that?
presence that. I would say I'm not the expert. I would almost go to somebody like, maybe somebody in this room has an answer, but like, I would go to Eric Antoinette for like, how do you deal with this? Because he's so good at dealing with these kind of situations, anger management. Like, how do you like work through this, right? And just don't accept it. That's because as soon as you accept it and just say, like, you get to step up and say, you know, one of the languages that phrasings that I learned this year was, when you said that, I felt this way. Is that what you were trying to make me feel? Right. And that just little question is presencing the fact that I'm receiving your energy in this way. And if you didn't intend it in that way, awesome. Let's have a conversation about that. If you did intend it in that way, well, you know, then you get to have a conversation about that and make a decision. But if you just like, well, and it can get messy because if people aren't willing to step into that space, it just turns into a fight. Like, I remember, and that's where you pull people into leadership. Like, I remember Shanda saying, I didn't learn this till like a few months ago, because she's talked about her marriage and like sourcing her husband in 90 days. And a few months ago, she finally came out, or I at least was in a conversation with her when she was like, Ash and I used to fight when we first got married. You know, they sourced each other in 90 days. They would fight and fight and fight. And she just got to the point where she's like, okay, I'm done. I think she was pregnant. And she's like, we'll be great co-parents, but like, we're not going forward with this. And then she encouraged him to go into leadership, and everything shifted. Right. But she wasn't going to hang around and spend her life with a man who was not like, she was just going to fight 3, 4, 5 times a day. It's like, no, we're going for 10 out of a 10. And this is who I get to be to step into that Olympic level relationship. Like, I'm going for a 10 out of a 10, and I love you. And
I could definitely have that conversation. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Janet, I invite you as well to look at, how did you create it?
Right. So I did.
And then and nobody can make you feel anything. That's your choice.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know I have a very, just like you, a very flamboyant, I mean, just aggressive Italian family.
Right.
You know, Sunday dinners are heated. And every member played a role in those family dinners. And so when I chose not to play my role anymore of being a steamrolling, horrible person, self-centered, selfish, I didn't care about anyone else but me. When I chose not to play that role, I then got to shift. So for me, I would stand up from the table. I mean, right in the middle of dinner, stand up from the table, go for a walk around the block, and ground myself in my intention. How do I want to show up? How do I want to be? Do I want to be aggressive? Do I want to be mean? No. I want to be loving. I want to be generous. I want to be kind. And the first couple months, I would walk around the block 15 times during one meal. And I broke the cycle. I broke the model of our family. So then now that role wasn't being played. I didn't put my family down. I didn't make them wrong.
Right.
Because that's the other thing is when I start to shift, everyone around me says, okay, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with how I am, that you are now
right
raising your standards or whatever it is? What's wrong with me?
Absolutely.
So I didn't
Yeah.
make them wrong.
Right. So I feel like the conversation with Trina, I've thought about having that conversation with her, and I feel like that's not taking responsibility. If I'm going to ask her if she intended to make me feel that way, then she's making me feel a certain way and she can't make me feel anyway. So I almost don't want to have the conversation with her. I just want to be different. And this is going to be my jump. Like, I feel like this is a cliff because I don't want to do it. I really don't, because I don't like this person. But am I willing to? And I thought, while I was praying to the porcelain goddess, I was like, do I really want this? And maybe I'm sick because I'm sourcing this feeling of how I'm feeling. And what are the prices I'm paying and what risk is there? And I said, what if I do these things and I become this person and be all these things and it doesn't work and I'm humiliated and I basically ate my own crap to do it and it still didn't work. She still put her finger in my face and she's still blah, blah, blah. I'm like, is that a price I'm willing to pay for a person I don't even like, And I'm like, I think so. Hey, who's here, Taylor?
I love that, Janet. Welcome, Taylor. So
and I said to
beautiful.
myself, I'm 100% responsible 100% of the time. And 100% of the time it will work. It's not about if. It always works. Always. If you do the work, it will work. So all these nerds in your head saying, what if it doesn't? What if I have to eat my own crap? It won't happen. It will work if I don't give up and I do the work. If I have to get up, I get up and leave. But, yeah.
I was going to say, I think intention is behind that. Because if it doesn't work, then you get to look at what was actually my intention. For instance, when I did the impromptu dance party, my intention was to show up and do a dance party, not that people would be joining me. And I got those exact results. Like, nobody showed up. I was by myself the whole hour. But the thing was that I was so proud of myself because I showed up with the intention to be giving and generosity, to spark joy in people's day. And it had sparked joy in my day. And it actually shifted my husband's way of being, because I was showing up joyful for him when he was being cranky pants. And it was powerful. It's powerful when you're in your way of being authentically, like what you said, Trina, I loved, it's like being authentic to the person and going up to them and saying, that seemed a little unnecessary comment that was kind of biting. Is there, did you intend for that? Is there something that you want to talk to me about? Like, just being open, right? Because I think it'll either disarm them or it'll get them defensive. It all depends on your intention behind it. Like, do you intend to confront them? Because that's an energy. If you're confronting them, or are you there to connect and build trust and love between you two? And so like grounding yourself in that intention before you have any of these kinds of conversations is the first step that I would recommend you doing. Because if you're still feeling like you're being confronting, or you're feeling you're defensive or hurt in any way, that energy is going to come through your words. You can say all this stuff, but the energy is what they're going to feel. And so just presencing that. And even if you say something that you could tell that they got offended or defensive or hurt by, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I just said something that hurt your feelings. That's not my intention. I'm really sorry. Can we clear up what that was for you? That is so disarming for people. And they feel seen and heard in that moment. And it starts to soften their edges. And it's all about building trust again. It's not going to happen overnight. So doing these small little acts of kindness, showing up for them in ways that they're not expecting, and just loving them in generosity will start to get those like kind friendship marbles back on the jar that create trust. And then when people have trust, they're willing to be open and vulnerable in sharing their truth.
And I would love
think
to
you-
add as well that when you say you don't like someone, we're all just mirrors of each other. So now when I'm activated by somebody, because nobody can trigger me because that's outside of me, that is giving somebody else the power. But when I'm activated by someone, that is my red flag. Okay, Dan, where are you showing up like that? Where are you mirroring to other people how you're feeling right now? So it's my invitation to be level 4 responsibility and saying, how am I creating this? Where am I being a bulldozer to somebody? Where am I pissing somebody else off? And I start with me. And that was a huge shift. And when I start there, and when I shift myself, it's like Michael says, when I do the work, my mother changes. So that's my first invitation. And then my second invitation is always ask for feedback. What are you hearing me say? And when somebody can tell you back what you're saying, and I mean, it could be something that was not your intention at all. And then now you know, okay, that's not landing. So I get to style flex and ask a different way. And so it's confirming that you're actually having a conversation. And so also when somebody who you're activated by says something, you can say to them, what I'm hearing you say is XYZ, and ask them, like, and they're going to come back and say, you're hearing me. Awesome. We're on the same page. Or no, that is not what I'm saying. Then you know, instead of guessing, assuming.
So you said style flexing. I just want you to, for the people who might not be in this transformation work that like we are, could you just explain what style flexing is?
Oh, yes. So style flexing, there are different personality styles. So we don't all process the same. We don't show up the same. Some of us are really outgoing and boisterous, and we never follow through with things. And then the opposite of that are the analyzers that they sit on the fence. You hear analysis paralysis. They aren't quick to make decisions. They don't trust themselves. If it's not going to be perfect, they'd prefer to just not make a decision. They do all the research. They're the analyzers. Then the other two quadrants are controllers, which, that speaks for itself. They control everything. They're results oriented. They're direct. They don't know about feelings. I'm a controller. And then the opposite of that is the supporters. They're the martyrs. They put everybody else in front of themselves. They are all feelings. They want to share their feelings and what's going on with them. They put themselves last. And so by acknowledging what everyone's home base is when you're communicating, then you get to meet that person where they're at. So I know Janet's a controller. So I'm meeting her as a controller where she's at, being direct, results oriented. Whereas if I was speaking to a supporter, I would style flex into how does that feel and get very intimate with their feelings. So by being able to communicate in all 4 quadrants, because that's the goal, is to be right in the middle and being able to flex into the different ways of being that are working for each of the quadrant, because there's definitely ways of being that work and ways of being that don't work. And so we get to acknowledge ourselves for the ways of being that work that we are implementing. And then we also get to shift the ways of being that don't work for that operating system. So it's an amazing tool when communicating in the world with your significant other, with your kids. You can style flex with your children, and it always gets to be a win-win for everybody involved.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Everybody, please help me thank Ms. Danielle Longano for coming in and talking and giving us amazing 7 tips for joy and abundance. If you can share in the chat, which one of those are you going to start implementing today? Share in the chat. Thank you, Danielle. Love you for your giving and generosity. Okay, and so now I wanted to, I'm trying to turn down this video, but it's not working. And I want to share my screen because I made this beautiful slide that I was up late night making, and I had all my speakers on there. So I want to show it because I think it's fun. Share my screen. Share. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
So there is the beautiful little slide I made for my friend Danielle. And so now we're going to talk about breaking limiting beliefs. And so I want you to quickly take this mindset assessment to see where your mindset currently is at. We're going to take 2 minutes to do this. And you add up your answers. 1, strongly disagreeing with the statement. 3, being neutral. And 5, being strongly agree. 1, I believe my past experiences limit my future possibilities. 2, I often doubt my abilities to achieve my goals. 3, I find it challenging to embrace change or new opportunities. 4, I tend to focus more on obstacles than possibilities. 5, I believe failure is a reflection of my capabilities. 6, I often compare myself to others and feel inadequate. 7, I struggle to step out of my comfort zone. 8, I view challenges as opportunities for growth. 9, I believe in my capacity to learn and improve. And the last one, I see setbacks as temporary and part of the learning process. So when you have your answers, if you'd love to share them in the chat, so we can all see where we are. So I cannot see the chat. That's 10, 17, 26, 29, 31, Trina.
Okay, so you just want the total, Margarita, is that correct?
Yeah. Oh, it looks like totaling your scores from 1 to 5. And then 6 to 10. Oh, I guess totaling your score. So if you have a higher score in the first 5, it indicates a tendency towards holding your limiting beliefs that might hinder your growth and process. But if you have a higher score from the 6 to 10, that means you have a growth mindset, which suggests a stronger inclination towards a growth mindset where challenges are seen as opportunities for learning and development. So are you currently in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? And a lot of the times just knowing where you are, meeting yourself where you are, is the first step in allowing growth and transformation possibilities. So we just want to get underneath and understanding our limiting beliefs and their influence on our emotional well-being. So limiting beliefs are intricate constructions rooted in our rooted in our personal narratives and social conditioning. These convictions, often woven into fabric of our psyche, are shaped by a multitude of factors, including past experiences, cultural influences, and upbringing, and the values instilled in us over time. They intricately mold our perception of self-worth, competence, and the opportunities available to us in the world. And they act as mental filters, determining the lens through which we interpret situations. And it influences our choices, behaviors, and emotional responses. So consequently, these beliefs not only define our self-concept, but also significantly impacts our capacity to embrace challenges, pursue aspirations, and find contentment in life's endeavors. So we're gonna reflect real quick, and you can share if you'd like to come off mute. What are some limiting beliefs that have a strong hold on your mindset that prevent you from living your best life? And then also, what impact do you think these beliefs have on your overall emotional well-being and health?
I can share. Taylor speaking. I have a big one, a limiting belief that I have to do it myself. Like I have to do it alone. Nobody can do it like I can. And the impact is that I lone wolf, I isolate, and things are a lot harder than they have to be. Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor, for sharing that. And welcome. It's great to have
Thank you.
Anybody who'd like to share?
Yeah, I would love to. That's a really good one, Taylor, sorry. Because I'm wondering how it's like I won't ask for help until I hit rock bottom, right? And so, or I'll ask for help and I'll think I've asked for help. And then my kids have really been teaching me, they're like, no, Mom, like this is what you said. That was not at all a clear ask. And so there's got to be a belief under that unclear languaging, like the pretending to ask, but not really asking. So maybe it is sort of like this underlying belief of like, I don't know. Is it? Yeah, I'll figure out what's underneath that, but there's something going on. I'm working on it.
I think it goes back to your receiving and generosity. I think it goes back to when you ask for help, you're not giving you're not giving yourself permission to receive the help. So when my mom asks for help, she never says what she wants. She beats around the bush.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, this is me.
The mailman hasn't come yet today. Well, did you check the mailbox? And she wants us to check the mailbox, or, she hits and beats around the bush. So you go, I smell you're stepping in and you're going to get your mail yourself today, something like that. So
I love that. I love that.
So, and that's a common thing with women, I think, in general. I see that a lot.
So what is that?
What's that?
What is that?
That they beat around the bush because they don't want to ask for help, because I feel like, and I could be wrong here, but psychology, right? It goes down into philosophy and psychology, and maybe Patrick can help with this. I feel like it's women have had to work really hard to get where we are, and we don't get the support from men. And so we don't ask anymore because women are in competition with women. And so we don't want to be vulnerable and weak. And if we ask for help, that shows weakness. And I think that's in women's minds because we've had to work so hard to get where we are. We don't trust anybody. And I've been in a male-dominated world my entire life. And I know that women will compete with other women and try to knock them down to make them bigger so they'll look stronger in front of the men. And so nobody asks for help. I do. I ask for help, and I like asking for help, and I have no problem asking for help, but sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is ask for help. So I feel like that's what I feel like it is. It comes from internal self-worth.
Yes. And I love this discussion, and I love that we're so being very active in this call, and I love it. I want to honor my friend Taylor's time, who has to leave really shortly, and get her to share her giving generosity, she came here to share with us today. And I want to continue this discussion with you, Gina and Janet as well. But I want to just introduce my friend Taylor Garrett, who is here to speak around forgiveness. And a lot of times, I think it kind of goes with what we're saying, right? Like we get to forgive ourselves, right? And being in such a place of generosity with ourselves first. And it serves as a transformative key in empowering one's mindset. Choosing forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's a profound gift that you give to yourself, fostering your mindset in a rich compassion, strength, and ability to move forward with grace and positivity. Which brings me to my next guest, Taylor, who is passionate to share with you the power of forgiveness as a tool for transformation and healing. My friend Taylor Garrett is a global leadership coach, peace builder, and nomad. I love that. From living in Vietnam to New Zealand and Senegal, she works with entrepreneurial peace builders around the world to create impact from a place of clear creativity and inspired collaboration. After receiving her graduate degree in diplomacy and co-authoring The Future of Multilateralism, a book that points to opportunities for international collaboration at the governance levels, she left the realm of theory. Today, you can find Taylor on the ground in healing communities like Colombia and Senegal for bridging her vision of creating new world leaders into practice. It's beautiful. Today, she teaches change makers how to lead change now without sacrificing themselves so that they can change the world and enjoy it too. Please help me welcome Taylor today. Thank you for being here, Taylor.
Thank you for having me here with this amazing panel of leaders and on such an important conversation around the holidays and releasing stress. And I love that we're talking, that I get to talk about forgiveness because as Danielle was just saying, there's a lot of communication that happens in a lot of ways we can land it. And during the holidays, we got to communicate with our family a lot. And if we're doing it from a place of stress and anxiety and overwhelm, it's a very different product than when we are forgiving and healing and joyful. So I'm excited we get to talk about this. Yeah. You want me to just take it away and talk about forgiveness? Okay, perfect.
Yes,
so, forgiveness is an amazing conversation because a lot of times we think it's something we do. It's like, we go write that forgiveness letter or we go and have that conversation where we forgive somebody. But in fact, what forgiveness really is it's a way of being. It's a lifestyle. And the person that we get to forgive the most is not usually the person who did us wrong as a kid or last year or took my money. In fact, when we're talking about forgiveness, one of the most urgent and important conversations we get to have is forgiveness for ourselves, which really ties into what Janet and Trina were just talking about, with humanity having certain social constructs and belief systems in place around women and men and who each person has to be. But we get to forgive ourselves for how we've played a role in propelling those experiences of pain that I have to do it all myself, or that if I don't do it, I'm competing with other women and they might come and take over, right? And so when we're talking about moving forward and living a life free and connected to the people we really love, to the vision we really love, we get to maybe rewind a little bit because we also get to go to the foundation, which is what am I carrying that's not serving, that might be causing stress, conflict, or separation. And last weekend, I actually got the opportunity to do a 2-day workshop with one of our lead trainers here, Michael Strasner, on the art of mastering relationships. And we spent the first day not on thinking about the other person and how to make that relationship better with somebody else. We spent the first day actually focusing on ourselves and where we hold anger, stress, pain, on our own identity and belief about ourselves and how we engage in the world in the light of forgiveness. And once we start to allow ourselves to forgive, there's a whole new world that opens up, which is acceptance, which is, I can see, it's funny, as a kid, I was often called the devil child in the family because I was a little rowdy. I was, I would push the boundaries and I was very much controller in my family. And I realized how much I held myself to blame for problems in the family. And I'm sure we all do this in certain ways, but how much I was the bad kid, the bully, the evil child, even though I was a child and didn't have anybody teaching me how to manage my emotions and my mind. I've held myself in that light, so I couldn't even see wounds that I had because I didn't allow forgiveness for myself. And why I'm talking about this is because if we hold ourselves probably unconsciously in the light of, I did wrong, I deserve this, then one, we're totally cog blocking any sort of forgiveness for other people and connection. And we're also preventing ourselves from seeing what's really going on. And so forgiveness is not something I did once this weekend as I saw myself. This is something I'm continuously integrating every day in my experience, which looks like, where do I feel emotions coming up? Where do I feel pain coming up around how I've shown up or who I've been? And then opening up the space to, I use the mantra, release and transmute. Basically, I get to stop, pause, create space, and release it from my system. There are many ways to do this, but essentially on the neurological level, I'm stopping the circuitry from building more circuits in my brain of, you suck, Taylor, right? So I'm creating space to shift, and that's exactly the energy of forgiveness. Forgiveness creates the space to shift into something new, but without it, we don't have that bridge. Bye, Danielle. So much love. So without that bridge that forgiveness offers, we often get ourselves, we try something new, we do the transformational task, the tool, the stretch, the idea, and then we're right back where we started because we haven't gotten into the infection of the wound, if that makes sense. We're just building some sort of Band-Aid on top of it. And so forgiveness really allows us to start clearing out whatever infections we have in our spiritual, energetic, whatever wounds that we're carrying. So bringing this forward, as I'm kind of wrapping up here, I really wanted to talk about forgiveness because with our families, when we store a lot of pain from our childhood, from things that were supplanted in our subconscious, one of the best things we can do, and by do, I mean integrate and be, is to really create space for where am I holding energy on myself and noting that. The only thing we got to start with is noticing it. And once we notice it, we can work with it. And then more pieces, more and more breadcrumbs will open up. They'll be uncovered. And so forgiveness gets to be a lifestyle. You deserve it. It's an absolute worthiness conversation. And at its core, it's such a powerful way of being that can transform any relationship. Like what Danielle was saying earlier, I changed myself, I changed my relationship, I changed my mom. And that's the most beautiful family to have and experience with your friends this holiday season, is when I forgive, I can let all the stress go. I don't have to hold on to anything. So that is what I would love to give and share. And I hope that one thing from what I said is something that you can take forward into your holiday season.
Thank you, Taylor.
That is beautiful, Taylor. Thank you so much. It's a great reminder at why it's important to do this work. Any work worth transformation starts with you. And so thank you for presently that and forgiveness. Forgiveness, reminding it's for us and not for others, is huge, because a lot of times we feel that we're giving people slack or we're letting them get away with it by forgiving them. But forgiveness is really about letting it go for your sake. Taylor, how can people get a hold of you and learn more about what you're up to in the world?
Yeah, you can go to tailoredcoaching.life. That's my website. Or, I'm starting the Instagram thing. I'm moving into that. So tayloranna.garrett on Instagram. tayloranna.garrett.
Yeah,
Taylor,
thank you. Keep
I want to pick
spreading your love and generosity. I think Janet has a question.
Of course. So I would just want to say what really resonated when you talked with me, what landed with me. I want to share it with you so you can hold on to that and maybe it'll resonate with other people. You referred back to your childhood and how you were a wild child or the black sheep like me, right? And how nobody taught you how to manage your emotions. And then you transformed into who you are today, which is a completely different person. And what came to me was victim. Like we can be a victim to our childhood and being that rebellious, active child and saying, nobody taught me and I didn't know. And I'm that way now because I didn't learn. And, playing victim is so easy, I have found in life, right? We can all blame and play victim. It's not my fault. And if we're 100% responsible 100% of the time, then I have to say that when you said that, I was like, am I playing victim? Like, I don't think I am. I work really hard not to do that when I can acknowledge it and see it. And then once I see it, it doesn't happen anymore. And you said all that. And you really got my attention when you said, when I was a child, this happened. And then when I saw it and it came to light, I got to choose a different way of being. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing your lens of what you took away from it, because that's exactly it. It comes down. Forgiveness provides a space for choice, not from a place of victim, but really from a place of something new. You just said it. Well, thank you, Janet, for sharing that. And I get to jump. So thank you, Margarita, for hosting this very beautiful space of leaders. And I've enjoyed all the conversation I've gotten to hear on this call. And I look forward to seeing what impact this creates in people's lives. This is what the world gets to hear this holiday season.
Thank you for your giving generosity, Taylor, and I'll see you soon.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye. Oh my gosh, how great was that? Oh, I am so blessed to be surrounded by such amazing leaders in the world. So I want to get back to understanding what limiting beliefs are and how they play a role in our lives. Let me share my screen again. So many alarms. That's the only way I stay as a promoter. That's the only way I get to complete my tasks, setting alarms for myself. So what are limiting beliefs? Limiting belief is a thought or state of mind that you think is the absolute truth and stops you from doing certain things. These beliefs don't always have to be about yourself either. They could be about how the world works, ideas, and how you interact with people. I also want to quickly, it's too far away. I was going to show Taylor her slide. So what are some common limiting beliefs? I'm sure we all have some that we could just shout out if you want to come off mute. What are some really common limiting beliefs? I'm not good enough. That's mine.
Money's hard to make money. I never have enough money.
Unworthy. Invaluable.
Success is impossible for me to reach, so I don't have degrees.
I'm unsupported. That is such a limiting belief.
I have one too, that I do everything alone. I'm alone. That's my big limiting belief.
Lone wolf, yeah.
So the impact on limiting beliefs has a huge impact on our emotional well-being. It could stifle our potential, limiting our mental barriers that confine individuals within their comfort zones, hindering our personal and professional growth. It increases stress and anxiety, leading to heightened stress, anxiety, and a constant sense of dissatisfaction because we perpetuate this negative self-talk. Negative self-harm. It contributes to a negative self-image, fostering feelings of unworthiness, self-criticism, and low self-esteem. Interpersonal challenges. It's a limiting belief that affects relationships, leading to difficulties in forming connections, mainstreaming trust, and communicating effectively. Then we have impaired decision-making. Our limiting beliefs distort perception, leading to hesitancy in decision-making. They inhibit our confidence in choices and affecting progress and opportunities for growth. And then, of course, my favorite, the self-fulfilling prophecy. These are reinforced negative outcomes by influencing behavior. I feel that Danielle touched upon this, that they create a cycle where expectations align with the belief, manifesting the undesired outcome. And then the diminished resilience. It weakens our resilience, these limiting beliefs. They hinder the ability to bounce back from setbacks, making it even more challenging to navigate challenges and setbacks effectively. So how do we overcome these limiting beliefs? The first step, and I believe that even Taylor touched upon it, is awareness. Recognizing and acknowledging these beliefs is the first step towards change. And then you get to challenge them, questioning, getting curious about the validity of them. And gathering evidence that contradicts them can also help shift your perspective. Replacing negative beliefs with empowering beliefs. So introducing a reinforcing positive and empowering belief can gradually replace those limiting ones. And one of my favorites is, and I think it's trending, is mindfulness practices. Engaging in mindfulness techniques such as meditation or journaling helps to observe your thoughts without judgment. It also fosters awareness of limiting beliefs, which allows for our acknowledgement and releasing of these beliefs. And the one that I think that society frowns upon is seeking support. We get to ask for support because, as I said earlier, we are beings that love to be in community and to be supported. And our village is our natural state of being. So connecting with a mentor, a therapist, a support group, a friend, someone who can offer guidance and different perspectives, someone who's not going to let you sit in your story. External support aids in challenging and reframing beliefs, which provides encouragement during this transformation process. So how do we empower your mindset? The influence of limiting beliefs extends far beyond our perceptions. It weaves into the tapestry of our emotional experiences and behavioral patterns. They dictate how we navigate challenges, interpret feedback, and embrace opportunities. By concisely engaging in the process of unraveling and challenging these deeply ingrained convictions, we can start to unlock the potential for our profound transformation. So there's a process of emotional resilience burgeons, empowering individuals to bounce back from setbacks, that navigate uncertainties with grace and perceive setbacks as stepping stones instead of failures towards growth. So ultimately, this journey towards challenging limiting beliefs paves the way for a life that is more aligned with our personal values, a deeper contentment, and an enriched sense of purpose. Purpose, I think, is one of the biggest things that I started questioning after a while. I didn't know if I had purpose in this world. And that was tied to my self-worth as well, which was all a limiting belief. And so we're going to learn how to identify and reframe them. So how do we do that? Here's the instructions. So first we start by identifying what that limiting belief is. And if you're like me, you have more than one. And you start to deconstruct the belief, like where, I'm trying to find my notes on where I wrote all this stuff. I think I accidentally erased it. Anyhow, and then we get to challenge that belief. Is it real? Is it true? Is it mine? That's important. Is it my belief? Or did it come from someone in my life? Parent, teacher, mentor, best friend. A lot of the times these limiting beliefs can also happen in just one moment. So, and then creating an empowering counter narrative, right? Like if your belief is, I'm not capable of success, I'm saying, hey, I'm continually growing and learning and evolving. That's how to get a counter narrative to help balance and shift that limiting belief into a positive narrative. And then visualizing this new belief, taking it in, believing it, embodying it, creating those new synapses as Taylor was referring to. And like making a choice in the moment to shift. and do something different. And then getting an affirmation statement. So before, you always say in your head, I'm not capable. I'm not capable of success, right? So then the affirmation statement is, wow, my capabilities are limitless. There's so much more power behind that statement, and it gives you more limitless opportunities. And then having a daily affirmation practice where you're saying them every day. You're saying them in the moments that those negative limiting beliefs show up. And the best way to see your progress is to track it. Tracking and journaling our progress really helps to see how much we have grown, how much we have changed, how much we have shifted. And for instance, I didn't realize how many accomplishments I had in a week until I was sharing it with my mentor. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have a lot of wins this week. And it gave me such a boost in confidence that I was like, even though I'm scared and I don't know what really it is that I'm doing, like fully, I know what I'm doing, but trusting that I do is a huge thing. And then when I realized that, I celebrated myself. Celebrating yourself is infusing that joy, that positive affirmation, that positive, you got this, pat yourself on the shoulder, actually celebrating and doing an actual woohoo infuses that positive energy and vibration. That vibration is so strong that it'll start to bring more of those moments for you to celebrate. So there's power there. And so I wanted to invite you to start thinking about how you can reframe your limiting beliefs. And is there an affirmation statement that you can create from it to empower you? And this is something that you can do and journal and share. Okay. And so this is my friend who just spoke, Taylor Anna Garrett. Love her. If anybody would like a bathroom break, now is a good time to go, a couple minutes. And then after that, I am so excited to speak on health and fitness and why it's so important to be healthy and fit at the holidays, because it helps with dopamine. And I have a special guest here I'm so excited to introduce to speak. So we'll come back in 2 minutes. You guys need to do a little refreshing bathroom break. I should put on some music.
Thank you so much.
You're glowing, Margarita.
I am quite literally, aren't I? Leticia, thanks for coming. It's so good to see you.
It looks like I came at a perfect time because I need a recommitment to fitness and health goals.
Yes,
or I get to recommit.
There are no coincidences. That's something that I'm learning in life. You are to be exactly where you are to be in every moment. So guys, we get to remember that. Like, if you are in a place that is not comfortable or you're not happy, you got yourself there. Think about it. Every moment you make a decision brings a future event to you. So like literally you are creator of your life. Yeah, of course there's things out of your control that happen. But are they really out of your control? Or was it meant for the beings out there, your energy, your guides, your God, or anybody trying to redirect you to the right path? And when you have friction and when you have pain, a lot of the times it's because you're not on your path, on your purpose. You're not on purpose. And it's everything, every being in the world is trying to be like, hello, screaming at you. You're on the wrong road. You're going in the wrong direction. You're driving in the one way, the wrong way. So we get to just redirect that. No right, no wrong, no good or bad. We get to just say, I'm just curious. Like, because when I do that, I start to see how I could connect the dots. I'm like, oh, well, this totally was about this thing way over here that I did. And it's very interesting when you start to have awareness that way, how much power you get to have with controlling your life. And it gives me so much confidence to trust in myself, which is definitely a hard thing to do. Up until now, it was very hard to trust. And so I'm here today as proof of when you trust, there's a net. Today, I had people show up for this call. I've had 2 beautiful speakers already lined up who shared in generosity. And I can't say it enough. You get to just jump all in and show up in love and generosity. All right, so welcome back. So we did quickly talk about growth mindset versus fixed mindset when we did the assessment. And this is important when it comes to anything we do. And for health and fitness, a lot of the times our fixed limiting beliefs stop us from doing what we know is going to help us with our health, with our mental well-being, with our confidence, because we feel good in our bodies. We feel good about what we're putting in our bodies. And it's so important to have a growth mindset to allow yourself the grace and self-love to pursue those things that are important, that are going to give vitality and wellness to your life. So these are just quick differences between the two. It's pretty much the opposite. Growth mindset looks at the opportunities and things, and the fixed mindset just says it, like glass half empty type of scenario. So it's really important because it builds resilience and it helps with coping, reduces your anxiety, increases your self-esteem, and helps build a positive mindset and outlook. And because of that, you are continuously improving instead of seeing a failure as the end. And so that brings me to my very good friend, Janet, who I just love her energy. She is definitely a health and fitness guru. Janet is a courageous and powerful, authentic leader who is a lifetime athlete. Let me show your thing. There we go. Who is a lifetime athlete and loves to embrace health and fitness. She's been goal-oriented and focused on health, safety, and nutrition her entire life. There's always a better than option. She doesn't believe in a restrictive-based life. She graduated from UConn in 1990 on an athletic scholarship. She is a retired fire captain and fire marshal from the Annapolis Fire Department and was the first female firefighter for her department. She's a breast cancer survivor. She has 2 kids and 3 grandchildren and is married to her soulmate. 55 years young, she is living her best life with a balanced nutrition and a movement-based lifestyle. She is here to share with you how easy it is to make better than choices so you can choose your outcome. Janet finds comfort in her active lifestyle of riding bikes, swimming, weight resistance training, and cardio, as well as running an Airbnb out of her home on the Eastern Shore of Maryland. Her most recent accomplishment was last July when she rode her bike across Iowa in 7 days. Amazing. Her future goals are to complete her first half Ironman in June 2024, and then conquering 29 feet Everest event. I botched it, I knew I would. Climbing the height of Mount Everest. So I guess Mount Everest is 29,029 feet. Amazing. And she's going to do that in 2025. Godspeed to you, my love. Janet is committed to continuing to create the best version of herself, both physically and emotionally, navigating through the challenges of life with controlling charm, and continues to be an inspiration to others. Showing up for herself is her number one goal. Exercise is the king and nutrition is the queen to making your kingdom. Janet is here to share how to build your kingdom one by understanding nutrition and actually enjoying the journey. She is passionate and energized by living the example of what good choices look like. She's super motivated. She motivates others to love and live in their kingdom with a positive mindset, setting goals and planning to win. And she loves to say, life is now. Please help me welcome Janet.
Ooh, that was good. Thank you. Thank you. Can we make the screen bigger, or is it?
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing.
There you go. I want to see everybody's face. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Rosalind, it's good to see you back. Kia, is that how you say your name?
Yes.
Kia. Hey, welcome. Lydia, you're here. Letitia, it's good to see you. And Maria, Trina, and Patrick. And thank you, Margarita. Thank you for having me here. Before, I could talk a long time on this stuff, and I don't want to bore any of you. I want to hit the nail right on the head because I'm all about action. I'm an analyzing controller, so I think about what I do and then I get it done. And I want to hit home with you guys. So there's lots of easy tricks to nutrition and fitness, lots of them. I would not be doing it for my entire life if it was hard. I've made it easy. I've made it fun. I've made it simple. And I've shared it with lots of people, and it works for everybody. So you guys are not my first exception. You will succeed, okay? First rule is kingdom is yours, okay? It's your world. You're the CEO. We already talked about it, right? It starts in the kitchen. If all y'all want abs, it starts in the kitchen, okay? That's where you get your abs. You don't get it in the gym. You get it in the kitchen. So it starts with nutrition, right? And then we work into fitness. So sometimes we struggle with good choices. Like, what does a good choice look like? Like in the supermarket, I walk the perimeter. Processed foods kills you. If God made it, if it grows from the earth or runs on the earth or flies in the sky, you're good to go. If it's created by God, you're good to go. If it's in a box or in the center of the grocery aisle, or it's been manipulated in any kind of way, then it's processed. And your body has to work really hard, guys. Has to work really hard at changing that product that you've ingested into your body and changing it to what it can metabolize. Okay, what it can use. And there's a lot of waste in there because Americans like things to taste good, and it takes sugar to do that. So if you want to start with one, know that anything you're doing right now is perfect. You're here, right? You're healthy, you're breathing, you're moving, you're perfect. You want to make it a little bit better? Then let's look at better than choices, okay? A better than choice would be if you go out to eat every day and have red meat 5 days a week. You go to fast food, or you go to Red Robin's, or you go to Costco's or BJ's and you get a burger or a pizza, and you eat out lunch 5 days a week. Could you do something a little bit better than that? Could you choose what would be the minimum? What would be okay for you, you think you could live with? And that's different for everybody. Is it 2 days a week you could go out? 3 days a week you could go out? Could you just shave 2 days off of that and just go out 2 days a week, 3 days a week? You've just made a better than choice. You can still have your hamburger and French fries. You really can. You're just not doing it as often. You're still getting it. Once you start to deprive yourself, that's when we go, people start diets and within 2 weeks, they're off of it. I'm going to stop fast food. I'm going to walk every day. I'm going to not drink any alcohol. I'm not going to go out to fast food. I'm staying home. I'm cooking my meals. I'm drinking water. And they're good. They're on fire. January 1st, the gyms are full. Everyone's on fire. People last about 2 weeks. My research has shown, and my experience has shown, that lasts about 2 weeks. After about 2 weeks, we get tired of saying no and telling everybody we're on a diet. That's not in alignment with my goals. I don't want to do that. You push it away. And then something happens. We get frustrated. We get stressed. We get angry. We get triggered. Something happens. We lose a family member. We get sad. What do? We turn to comfort. comfort food for a lot of people. And so then they binge eat. They go get a pizza and some fried chicken or whatever, nachos. They go out for a couple beers and a drink or a glass of wine. And they say, oh, I blew it. I blew it. And so I might as well blow the rest of the day. And then at dinner time, they're like, I already blew it today. So I'm going to sit down and have some spaghetti and meatballs and garlic bread and a glass of wine for dinner too. And then it's Friday. And they'll go, I'm just going to start Monday. What is this with starting Monday? Start your next meal. Don't wait until Monday to start, right? So if food is something that you want me to go in farther and deeper in, I can do that. Now let's tap on another topic. We talked about better than choices, like cutting back or changing. Let's just say changing. Like, let's say you like ice cream. Patrick, what's your favorite ice cream?
Well, my favorite ice cream would be plant-based ice cream, but made from plants. But I mean, like mint chocolate chip, maybe.
Okay. So if you were trying to cut back and mint chocolate chip was your choice, would you be okay with a banana ice cream, plant-based, or a plain one without chocolate in it? Let's say if you were trying to make a better than choice, it would be maybe an ice cream with not so many pieces of something in it, right? A plainer ice cream, but you still get ice cream, right?
Definitely.
Who has a favorite dessert? Name a favorite dessert.
Chocolate volcano ice cream. I mean, chocolate volcano cake.
Oh, chocolate
Lava cake that melted in the inside.
Yeah,
So
and you
good.
get that at a restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. Now, do you get that every time you go out to eat?
I don't get it anymore, but it's my favorite. Yeah.
So you can celebrate yourself in a win by going out to get it and splitting it with a friend. Like, you don't have to eat the whole thing. Get one dessert and share it. Right? That's another way. Yeah, Trina.
Oh, I just oh, hold on. Actually, I'll have to talk later.
Okay. So you can share it with a friend, right? You don't have to eat the whole thing. You can not, if you want to eat a bag of popcorn at night as you're watching a movie, because that's the fun thing to do when you pop that bag of popcorn. If you want to still do microwave popcorn, then you can take the popcorn and you can dump half the bag or a quarter of the bag into the trash right away. Smoosh it down in there so you're not going to go in and grab it. And then you have the rest of the bag. Because how many of us start eating the bag of popcorn and we go, oh, I shouldn't eat the whole thing. And then you're like, oops, there's the bottom. That's the best part when you scrape all the salt, right? And the butter. Well, dump out the beginning part of the bag. So you start and you get to finish it, right? So it's just ways to trick yourself until you can trust yourself. So we can talk. Yes, you resonate with that, Margarita?
Yeah, well, I have a question around that. Like, what do you recommend? Because you mentioned eating popcorn in front of the TV. So, like, do you think would you recommend people eating and watching TV?
Well, in the beginning, we just want to make better than choices. And every day or week that goes by, when we have an opportunity for a better than choice again, eventually you get to a point where your better than choices are really best choices and practices. And they would not include eating in front of the TV. Now, does anyone know why we don't want to eat in front of the TV? Any guesses?
I do.
What is the answer?
That's why I asked you. Because you mindlessly eat more.
Very good. You mindlessly eat more. You agree with that, Maria? Because you raised your hand too. You mindlessly eat more. What does that mean? That means you're watching TV, you're engrossed in the show, and you just go, wow. And you're not even thinking about what you're eating or how much you're eating. You're just focused on the screen and you're just like, this is good. And the more energy on the screen, the faster you're eating. And if you're crying, you're like, oh, one bite at a time, you're just slowing down. So you are responding to the TV. You're not being conscious of portion control, right? Now, all of this being said, it can be very hard in the beginning if you cut it cold turkey. Okay. So one way we can do it is just think about what's a better than choice. If you eat ice cream, try frozen yogurt and take out the cookies, right? Don't let the cookies or the mints, chocolate chips be in the ice cream. If you usually like Rocky Road, get rid of the Rocky Road part, add frozen yogurt. That's a fruit based. Okay. Now we can go farther into food. Let's talk about fitness. Let's talk about getting in the gym now. What does that look like? And what should we do? Should we do cardio? Should we do Should we do weightlifting? Is there a combination of both we can do? How do we start? You walk into a gym. How many people have known people or experienced it themselves walk into a gym or walk into a room that they plan on doing a walk on the treadmill, or they walk into a gym and they see everything and they walk out? Have you ever seen somebody walk in and walk out? Even if it's like a meeting and they don't want to do it, like they show up and then they go, oh no, I'm leaving. Like people, the first part of everything is showing up, right? Show up. 90% of it is showing up. So if I was to direct or give advice to somebody who wanted to start working out, I would ask you, what is your favorite thing to do? Because first of all, if I'm going to make you do something you don't like to do, it's not going to work. So what's your favorite thing to do? I know, Letitia, I know, Letty, yours is running, right? You like to go out and run, and she's a runner and she loves to run, and that's her thing. So there's a certain time of day that is best to run, right, Letty? Like in the morning time before you start your day, get it done, get it out of the way, because we got things to do. Am I right? Yeah. If I wait until 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock to do it, it's not going to get done because I'm going to get caught up with life. Okay. Maria, what do you like to do? What is your favorite thing to do? You, like, if you were to say movement, what would be your movement of choice? None. Okay. We can work with that.
None.
Okay. We can work with that. We'll come back to you because I'm going to talk about something that you'd enjoy doing. What's that? Kia, let's talk about you. What's your favorite thing to do? Movement wise.
Movement. I love yoga, running, walking. I love swimming. I love hiking. I love camping. I love moving furniture. I know that's a weird one, but I really do.
I love that. Why do you love moving furniture?
I like rearranging my home from time to time when I catch myself stuck in a rut. So I'll just move it all around and just like shake it up for me. So that's something that I like to do. Those
And
are
it's
days
good
I do not go to the gym.
Yeah, and it's good exercise, right? Moving furniture, cleaning your house. There's a reward at the end of that, right? There's a reward. There's two rewards. One, you've got movement in, you got your heart rate up, right? Second, you got your house cleaned or you got your house rearranged. Perfect. So Maria, could you see yourself doing that? Would you enjoy things like that?
I actually do it all day long.
There you go. There you go. So now we want to up our game a little bit. Before we do that, Rosalind, what's your favorite thing to do movement wise?
I like to ride my free-wheel bicycle. I like to walk, and I enjoy, I like to swim when I have the opportunity.
Swimming's great for your joints. Yeah, when you have the opportunity. We need an indoor pool when we live in cold climates. Excellent. Patrick, what about you?
You know, I love running. I love exercise. Unfortunately, though, my knees, I had this near-death experience 7 years ago, so it's hard for me to walk and run. Yeah, so like I'm unfortunately I try to like do more like quickness when it comes to simple exercises like push-ups, sit-ups, the basics, and planking and stuff because I can't move. So I'm like, I need to get out to like Rosalind said, get out to swimming. I need to swim more, definitely.
Yeah, swimming would be good for you. Swimming would be good for you, and walking in the water would be good for you, right? Being creative like that. It's good core exercises and it strengthens your joints. Because at this point, you don't want to strengthen, you don't need strong muscles, you need strong joints to hold your body together. Your skeleton needs support, your core. So that's what I would focus on is walking. Now we would get bored walking every day in the pool, right? So Letty, if you were to run the same place every single day, it'd be like, well, I've been there, done that. This is getting a little boring. I want to stop. Right? We get bored with the same thing. So if you don't have a plan, then you're planning to fail. Exercise does not have to be hard. It gets to be fun. We don't even need to call it exercise. We can call it movement or doing. What are we going to do today? Right? What are we going to do? What's that, Letty? Did you speak?
I love that.
Yeah.
You said movement. It's movement. And also the other pieces that I love, Kia, you were saying it's like variety. That's the spice, right? It's like it's got to get. I love the variety.
Right. So that's what thank you for taking me there. That's exactly where I was going. Everyone's doing something different, right? What if y'all made a list of 5 things? You could do 5 days this week. You got to do 5 things. Doesn't have to be long. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. But what are 5 different things that you can do? And I'd like you to write them down right now. 5 different exercises. Now we've just named a bunch of them. It could be moving furniture, swimming, running, hiking, basketball, softball, toss the ball with your dog, any exercise at all, biking, kayaking.
I love rollerblading. I feel like I'm flying.
Rollerblading. Perfect. I love that. You feel like you're flying.
Free and flying. I feel so powerful when I rollerblade.
Oh, wonderful. Did you teach yourself how to do that?
Yes.
I did too. It's fun.
I
Learning a new thing is fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
So rollerblading, you start on the grass. That's what I started. I went on YouTube and I learned how to rollerblade. It said start on the grass, so when you fall, it's not so hard. And then I went from the grass over the sidewalk to the grass. Like there was grass on both sides of the sidewalk, and I went wee, and I was like, whoa, that's what concrete feels like. And then I was like, okay, I can do that. And then I gradually, within an hour, I made it to the concrete. So learning like a three-wheel bicycle, maybe going somewhere with the bicycle or going on vacation and renting a bicycle on the boardwalk, right? So choosing that. So did everybody write down their 5 things? Keep thinking. 5 things that you can do that would be movement related. All right, Margarita put it in the chat. Dancing, excellent. Rollerblading. Okay, Kia.
Qigong.
What's that?
It's pronounced Qigong. It's like Tai Chi.
Oh, how do you do that?
It's like meditative, slow movements where you're working with your energy, like your aura and your energy, and creating space so that energy can flow. It's like Kia's doing it now.
Gotcha. Oh, I read cheesecake. I was like, what kind of exercise is that, Kia? But that was the dessert. Okay, you're doing it. Very good.
That's so beautifully, Kia.
Yes. And that will be releasing, right? It'll be peaceful. It'll be releasing. It is focused. When we do things like that, your benefit lasts way outside the gym. So walking in the grass, right? Rollerblading, sex, very good. Sex is exercise. Walking hills, yoga, Pilates, running, cycling, excellent. Let's see, Patrick, what'd you put in there, buddy? Kia said, what's that? What's what, Kia?
I think she meant sex. What's that?
You're reading her mind. Okay, that's another class. Okay. So now, if you were to commit to doing, Patrick, swimming, yoga, biking, walking, sex, I guess. Okay. If you were to commit to write down tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Thursday? What is one thing that you would do tomorrow? Of your 5 things, what would it be? All right, you're dancing, Margarita.
I'm going to do an impromptu dance party now just because of that.
There you go. And that is exercise. What would you do, Rosalind?
Yeah, that's what I'm dancing at least a song a day right now till Christmas for sure. So trying to find one song just to kind of get me moving if I get still too still.
I love it. I love it. Have fun.
So yes, I have to keep it fun.
There you go. Now that y'all have, Patrick, do you have your exercise you can do? Okay, you got one? And Kia, you're just all about exercise. Sounds like you do it every day already. And Letty, you're going to go out for a jog tomorrow morning somewhere?
Yes, I definitely have to do that. I've got an ultra half trail on Saturday. So I
Okay.
got to
So
get some running in, but I love the idea of dancing. That was from our fun meeting. I was like, that was a stretch I took.
that's excellent.
Going to be dancing tomorrow too.
Good. Excellent. Now let's change our language, Letty. You said I have to do that. I have to get out and run tomorrow. You get to go out and run, right? Watch our language. Maria, do you have something you're going to do
Thank you.
tomorrow? You do. Okay. Now
Dancing, one song to dancing.
you're all dancing to one song. All right, we can commit. We should meet
Dancing
tomorrow.
too.
One song. All
Dancing
right,
too.
we're all committing to dancing tomorrow.
You
Now
guys all got my-
that dancing is movement, right? It gets your heart rate up. That heart rate, when it comes up, it doesn't stop when you stop. The heart rate may slow down, but you've got your blood flowing and it's cleansing your body, and it continues after the song is over. So that's because when your heart rate goes up, it sends out these endomorphins to your body, and they go into your brain and they go through your body. And it's almost like your body is saying, I don't want to let this go. I want to keep it as long as I can. But if you don't feed the fire, then it goes out. And when I say feed the fire, if you saw 2 bonfires on the beach and you fed one bonfire like 2 or 3 twigs every 15 minutes, it would keep it going. If you fed the other bonfire 4 logs at once and nothing else for the rest of the time, it would spurt up and then it would slow down and eventually go out. The object is to do a lot of little things during the day, not just one. You start with one, but that could be your dance. What is the second thing? The second thing would be a small meal. Your body can only metabolize so many calories at once. And you'd be surprised how deceiving the labels are in the grocery store. I'll give you one small example that you all know of. I'm going to name a product in the grocery store that probably we all have in our house. And it's okay. I want you to use it. I use it too, but it's mislabeled big time. It's 100% fat, and it's labeled 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein. Can anybody guess what that product is? Yeah.
Water.
Nope. Water's not fat.
I know it's
It's
not.
100
You said guess a product that has 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 proteins.
Yeah, but it's labeled in the grocery store that way, but it is a product that is 100% fat. It is a product in the store that is guaranteed.
Butter?
No, butter has a label on it that says that is it says it's fat.
Anything
Olive
that says
oil.
fat free. I was gonna say olive oil. That was my first thing was oil.
Ham, the spray, coconut oil, what is it called? Pam, the spray. It says 0 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein, and it's 100% fat. Does that mean I can cut the top off of it and dump it on my pan and it'll be 0 fat and 0 calories? No, it's all about the serving size. It says on there, if you have a 1/4 of a second spray. Does anyone do that? I don't even know if I could do that. Can you all do that? A 1/4 of a second spray and have it be 0? No. So it's all about portion. Also, ground turkey is another fib on this. The federal government labels started in 1990, and the federal government says that when you label a product, you go by serving size. And if it has less than 1 gram, you can say it's 0. Ground turkey it's labeled 93% lean, 7% fat. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? And that's like a go-to, right? You want to grab it. But if you flip it over and look at the fat and the calories on that, it's in grams, right? The fat is in grams. The carbs are in grams. What is grams? Grams is not American, is it? It's not American. It's what country does that come from? Help me out.
The metric system.
Metric system, right? Which we're not really that comfortable. I'm not that comfortable with. So you have to, in order to get it in calories, you got to multiply it by 9. So it becomes a formula, right? So if it's 5 grams of fat and you multiply it by 9, that's your calories. So 9 times 5 is 45. right? Am I right on that? So if it's 5 grams of fat, you multiply it by 9 and you get the number of calories from fat. Now, 45 calories are of fat and it's 100 calories in the whole thing. It's 45% fat. Yet it's labeled 7% fat because they go by weight, they go by serving size, not by weight. So the labels are really tough. And in order to get past this, you have to understand shopping on the outskirts is the right thing to do and making better choices. So instead of buying ground turkey, you have to buy ground turkey breast because that's all white meat and it is truly lean. So that would be a change you really wouldn't notice in your food. You're still eating it. So yeah, buying organic is good too. So if you couple the exercise and then you eat a protein, a fat, and a carb all together, it helps your body digest it better. So what does that look like? What does 300 calorie meal look like? If I was to eat 300 calories, which is what I do typically, I'll eat 300 calories at a shot 6 times a day, and sometimes I'll go to 400, but I'll eat like 300 to 400 calories 6 times a day. And your body, you're fueling it just like at the beach in the bonfire. You're fueling the fire by giving it food. Every 2 or 3 hours, you're giving it fuel. Now, what does that do? That gets your metabolism running. So those of us that want to drop like 10 pounds or more than 10 pounds, the way to do it is to get your metabolism to work while you're sleeping. Burn that fat while I'm sleeping. How do I do that? If I get an exercise in there during the day and I all do something, and then I eat after that a good 300 calorie protein based meal, it gets me set up for the rest of the day. You do that in the morning, the rest of your day kind of flows well. And at nighttime, after you've eaten like 3 or 4 meals during the day at 300 calories, you fed your metabolism all day. Guess what happens at night? Metabolism will continue to burn because you've prepped it to burn all day long, and you'll watch the weight fall off. If it's not falling off, then it could be hormones. It could be a medicine that you're on. Or it could be something in the food that you're eating, the food choices you're making. So if you make these changes by just getting one movement in a day, one movement, and do that for a week, and then you can add 2 songs, 2 movements, and then you can add 3, or you can add something else, go for a walk. If you do something different and keep it pizzazzed up, kind of like Kia says, I like to move the furniture because it's a reward at the end. And I also like to swim, and I like to bike, and I like to dance, and I like to run, and I like to jog. So she divvies it up, right? You do something different all the time, and then you end up with a variety. And the last thing I will add is that if you plan your meal out for the day or the night before, and you plan your exercise out for the night before, you'll be successful. What does that look like? Whoops. What does that look like? That looks like getting my sneakers out, my shorts out, and my top out the night before. And then going to the refrigerator and putting my yogurt and my berries next to each other in the fridge, or my overnight oatmeal in the fridge. My breakfast is ready. So now I go get my workout in the morning when I wake up, and then I eat my protein when I'm done. And that sets me up. Now, lunchtime, I'll prepare that. I always have like ground chicken or whole chicken breasts in my fridge already. I grab a small handful and I put it on my dish, and I'll have spinach with it and I'll cook it up. Or I'll have some rice and some spinach and some chicken, or I'll have turkey meat and I'll put it on a fajita, and I'll have turkey meat with onions and garlic and hot sauce and all that. And I always put an extra veggie in there, like spinach on top or romaine lettuce on that shredded. So you always want to add a vegetable to your diet. So if I was to say to you, 4 is the magic number, get four servings of protein, 4 servings of carbs, 4 servings of fat, and 4 servings of vegetables. And all you have to do is figure out what a serving looks like. What does a serving of protein look like? Can you show me on your hands? Does anyone know that? Perfect, Kia says right there. That's a serving of protein at the palm of your hand or your fist. right? All the way around. Is that what you're saying? Or is
No,
that your
carbs is the fist, proteins is the palm.
right? So that counts for the depth. Like my protein, my chicken, that's the thickness of it, and it's the palm of your hand. So if it's like this tall and I'm like, well, it's round, but it's that tall, that's not a serving. It's got to be just like Kia said, it's this part of your hand, but it's the thickness of it too. And then the fist is your carb, like Kia just said. So my carbs have, and that's the thickness. So if I get mashed potatoes, it has to be the size of my fist, right? What's that? That's
And
your fat.
this pinky top is the amount of sugar.
Yes, that pinky top is the amount of sugar, and sugar's hidden in everything, right? Your fat is the size of your thumb. So that could be a quarter of an avocado. That's a good fat, right? And you could spread that on your toast, right? That's your fat. And you get 4 of those every day. So if you go tomorrow and if you go tonight and you set up your meals, 4 meals tomorrow you can have, and you do a protein, a carb, and a fat in every single one, I guarantee at the end of the day, you're going to go, I ate a lot of food, and you're not going to be hungry. And you're going to go, I can't believe I ate all this food and I'm not even hungry, and you're going to feel great. So that being said, prepare your meals for tomorrow with that mindset of a protein, a carb, and a fat in every single meal. Do that 4 times tomorrow, and you will feel satiated at the end of the day, and you will feel good, and get your dance party in, and you've done everything. And if you do that, repeat that, and just add, you can change things out, you're set. You're good to go. It's not hard once you start planning it. Do I mess up? Do I fall off the wagon? Absolutely, I do. But I don't plan. It's more of a punishment to me not to plan my meal. If I walk out and I don't have something with me to eat for the day, and I'm going to be gone 4 or 5 hours, I'm punishing myself. Like, I want to have something in a little, you go get those little containers. They're called meal prep containers. And I always put a bed of spinach down, and then I put my protein and my carb, and then I freeze it, and I pull it out when I want it. And when you pull it out, you put it in the microwave, and that spinach turns really soft and just mixes in with everything. You can go to a website called, let me think for a second. What's a healthy website to get food from? Simply, let me look it up. I forgot. It's on Pinterest too. Any recommendations?
I can think of the Green Chef, but I don't know if they're really green.
Yeah, Green Chef, isn't that a meal prepping company? Yeah, I'm talking about recipes. Kia, what do you use for recipes? What's that?
I just Google it, and whatever one has
Skinny Taste,
the ingredients that I like.
Yeah, I try to limit 5 ingredients or less, but skinnytaste.com. They have really, really amazing recipes.
I try to avoid recipes. I like to just use my senses and smell and listen to what my body is reacting. Like, sometimes I'll, like, there's a reaction, and if it's, God given, sometimes that can be like, if you're bitter and you're reacting to it, it's because you might have a parasite. Like, just really being super subtly aware of like how my body, reacts. And let me not pretend that I'm like some professional. I have my nights where I'm binging on gummy bears and ice cream and soda too. So I try my best when I'm on my game. It's really a great practice. Smelling, like the spices, smelling what goes in your food is really amazing to connect.
Did you always do that? Has it been natural for you, or did you learn that, Kia?
Yeah. So, like the stuff that you're talking about, like when I was 14, because I'm a seer, and I feel things, and I would get messages from God of like not to touch things. And people thought I was actually had a mental illness because I could sense chemicals and like metals and foods. And I was completely vegan, not a great one. Like, I lived off of like gummy bears, but as I got more subtly into the foods, like I started really picking up a hyper awareness. I could almost like hear the tonality of food. And I know that's super weird, but then I suffered with eating disorders a lot. I was very, very tiny, and then I would binge eat when things were really bad growing up. So I ate tons of food, tons of sugar, and then I would like bulimia and then anorexia. And then so going through all that and having people watch me, what I'm eating, just that hyper awareness. And then just a lot of it is like in my healing journey, I learned a lot of Ayurvedic practices, and like smelling your food is like a way to create the chemicals on the tongue that will actually break down biochemically your food. So like really creating that relationship. And so now that's the practice, is creating a relationship with my senses, like touch, feel, sight, smell, taste, you know, all those things, and listening to the body, because all the things out there, there's not one way. You have to learn you, and and you grow and change. So what worked for me like 10 years ago doesn't work, and I react to those things. So
yes, it's actually a relationship, right? And then you feel rewarded when you do it right. Excellent. Thank you for that share. So Letty had a question on what we think about stevia.
Yes, Miss Janet, is there a way that I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I definitely want to honor Kia. She's my next speaker as well. And I just want to say you gave us such abundance of knowledge and information. And I just love your better than outlook on this, because those are really easy tidbits of things that we can implement in our daily lives that seem manageable and attainable. So thank you for that. That's very amazing. And how exercise and fitness look like. It doesn't have to be like this gym workout thing, just movement. And so thank you for the freedom that brings us. And if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can they reach out to you if they have any other questions and want to go deeper with you? Is there a website or anywhere that they can reach out?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page called Courage After Cancer, and it's an Instagram as well. So courage_after_cancer. And that's my Facebook handle and my Instagram handle.
Such a beautiful gift to have you here today to share your giving generosity and your wisdom.
Thank
you for being here, guys. Please reach out to her if you guys have any more questions. And she, I'm sure, will be more than willing to be there for support. All right. And so speaking of freedom, that brings me to my next guest speaker. And she is, let me get into her bio here. She's here to talk about freedom. And I wanted to talk about emotional freedom, because I think a lot of the times that is where we get to go to allow ourselves grace. But Kia Levine is HHP, CM, CHT, and I wish I knew what those all meant, my love. Is a visionary leader, transformational speaker, and holistic health practitioner dedicated to unleashing the full potential of entrepreneurs and professionals in visionary leadership. Kia's calling is to awaken, with profound expertise in alternative medicines, coaching, teaching, and transformative practices. Kia is a revered mentor known for empowering courses and training programs. Her true passion lies in teaching, advocacy, and speaking engagements that have graced stages for esteemed organizations such as PCA, the Pinwheel Planting Ceremony, and the Nevada Chamber of Commerce. Kia's calling is to awaken the visionary leader within individuals. She empowers entrepreneurs to sharpen their focus, tap into their creative reservoirs, nurture visionary mindsets, and heal from past traumas. Her mission is to guide them in pursuing their passions, building thriving businesses, and transforming them into visionary leaders. With her dynamic voice, Kia captivates audiences for profound insights on leadership, personal transformation, and holistic well-being. Through her transformative courses, workshops, and retreats, she has empowered countless individuals to break free from limitations, unlocking their potential for visionary leadership. Kia's personal journey and deep empathic approach create a transformative space for unleashing inner potential. As a catalyst for positive transformation, she inspires and nurtures the visionary leaders of tomorrow. Really impressive. So grateful to have you here in your giving generosity. Everybody, please welcome our guest speaker. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Janet, I'm sad because I wanted to hear more. You know, in the holistic industry, food is everything. It's the basis of everything. And science is just now catching up to what holistic health practitioners have been teaching for years, that we are what we eat. Like my mom used to say that to me when I was a kid. And it just gets me so excited to see more and more people advocating, because it's a war. It really is, especially when we're poisoning our own children and we don't even know it. And just the amount of repercussions in health that I've had to endure because of lack of knowledge, lack of knowledge. And I still suffer from things. And so I was so grateful to listen to your talk. And I definitely think that you should do a summit completely on this and go deep, because it was great. You're very engaging. So thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you, Margarita, for having me here. I am in a bit of a time crunch. So if you see a little bit of movement, that's my body just kind of feeling that, and I'm sitting with it. So I just want to honor Margarita for putting this summit on. It's great to see you out there doing your thing, sharing your light with the world. I'm so proud of you. And it's just so great that I got to connect with you through leadership. And it's just been an incredible adventure. And so, as she said, I am those initials mean holistic health practitioner. They mean certified hypnotherapist and a certified meditation instructor. I am a Vipassana meditation advanced instructor and energy medicine professional. I'm on the board. So all these certificates, all these things, I had a time of obvious self-worth. And so I think I maybe racked up too many certifications to try to heal those things. But at the essence of all of it, I'm human. Right? I'm human and I want better for people. And I believe that there's better ways to do things. The certifications don't make us who we are. It's what we say, it's what we do, and it's how we act. And the whole theme of going into this summit is about the stress of holidays, right? The stress and the anxiety, dealing with family, the onslaught of the marketing, the having to buy presents and the lists. And am I going to get anything? Who do I need to buy for? And what if I don't get them something? Are they going to be mad at me? Are they going to judge me? Like just friends and family and coworkers. And there's a lot of added stressors that we endure during holiday seasons that we don't really give voice to. And a lot of that stuff, that stress, is a chemical that is inside the body that actually does things, and it causes weakness of your cells. And so when you are having stress in the body, even the stuff that you're not processing or talking about, the holiday traffic, the trying to book a flight that takes a little bit longer, the prices are a little bit gouged, like the holiday recipes, like how am I going to eat my cheesecake and be healthy? Like how am I going to do all of these things? And so you get this opportunity to look at those stressors as an invitation to be more conscious this holiday. And one of the things that I really like teaching, a lot of my work, I worked with, apprenticed with as a curandera with the Anuak Nation. So I'm a moon dancer with the Danza Chikwatli Metzli, and my elder teacher, the chief of the moon dance, she brought me under her wing, and she taught me a lot of these very primal ways. It was the same when I walked with the Lakota and also the Mayan Nation down in the South America. And a lot of the indigenous wisdom that is given to us for healing is really about that primal aspect, right? There's an invitation to eat off the land. There's an invitation to be connected to the environment. There's a connection with the grass and the roots and the lands that you're on, the rivers, the waters, your family, your tribe, and your community. And in the holiday bustle in Western America, we don't get the gift of this as often. We actually have to consciously go out and choose it. We're not surrounded by it. So we have to be that effort, make that effort, and also look at who is around us and making that effort to help us with something that is naturally occurring, such as stress. Stress occurs all the time and people judge it as bad, but there's good stress too. We have to stress out the muscles to build muscle. We have to stress out the calories, right? And to increase the metabolism. We have to stress things to cause certain amount of growth. However, there's a point of breaking when that stress does become a little bit too much and it starts to cause harm. So one of the things with the wisdom of the indigenous, with the holistic health practices, with knowing that food is everything, with the holiday stressors and coming in and all the many other things, leadership and your teams and the things that you're going to do and the building, right? We're just getting started and the world is not going to slow down for us. So how do we live? How can we shift a way of being? And one of the ways that I thought that would be extremely gifting here is talk about somatic healing. It's a new word that has been rising up in the holistic industries. It's something that a lot of people have been hearing, but what is it really? Somatic really is a word of like the physicality. It is like Janet was talking about. It's movement. Every breath, inhale, exhale is a somatic movement. But when you look at primal expression, this is where you have an invitation to really engage with like what we were talking about earlier. Dance is a primal expression. If you look at all things across all time, there are like very few threads of truth. Prayer, song, dance, fire, air, earth, and water, right? These threads of truth are what bind us together through millennia. That dance, that music, that song, the prayer, the meditation, we call it different things. Some people call it prayer, some people call it meditation, some people call it focusing, some people call it concentration, some people call it contemplation. You get to have a practice around that is non-movement. Non-movement is a practice in primality, but what's really fun for me is the primal expression of sound and physical movement. And that is found through like dance, like Janet was talking about, like maybe challenging everyone to a dance in the morning. Finding that way of being within yourself is a way to express. And just like if you've ever seen a cat or a dog get in a fight, afterwards they shake, right? They shake off their stress, right? You've probably even heard this before. Why aren't you? The energies that we build is an electromagnetic energy that builds in the system. And when we're not grounded, we don't have a toroidal flow to allow the release of those energies. And so static electricity begins to build in the body. And the encumbering of that electricity is what is the stressors that cause the cortisol, the stress, anxiety, the chemicals that actually break down the cells. It's because all that cortisol is going to protect the vital organs to keep it operating at optimal levels. But the butt starts to collect all the fat because now your belly's not processing it the right way because it's got to worry about your heart and your brain more than it does your fat cells. So when you have an experience, say you're driving home and there's stress, or you're trying to get, like a conversation through with your mother about what turkey size to buy, and she just won't listen to you. She wants this pound, and you're like, it's not going to fit in my oven. Like, but we have this many people, right? So when you have these experiences, right, and you're stressed out, instead of talking shit, sorry, my language, instead of talking these bad things, instead of amplifying it where you're seeing the imagery in your head and you're reliving the experience and you're re-stressing your body by a replay, a back-to-back replay to your best friends, like, oh my God, can you believe what that girl did to me in the grocery line? She totally hit my ankle with the cart. It totally irritates me. But when you replay it, you're living it again. So you're literally going into stress. So dancing, you get to shake that stress off, and it literally is a discharge of electromagnetic energy. Like I know sometimes when I'm having a really hard phone call, like a coaching call, and something's happening, I can just sit there, put it on speaker, and I can just shake it off and go, this isn't mine, this isn't mine, this isn't mine. And I can shake off that energy. And one of the ways that is such a beautiful way, and this is just a trick of the trade of energy medicine. When you're somatically releasing energy, right? You ever like wonder where the energy goes? Like, yeah, right? I remember when I was first in healing and I was just like releasing energy, I'm like, I feel like I'm just putting crap everywhere. Like, where does it go? And I would ask my elders, like, what do I do with it? Am I hurting other people, with that? And they taught me that, look at the earth. The earth element teaches us everything for that. When we throw away our orange peels, when we throw away our banana peels, we throw it into the earth. Where does it go? What happens? The Mother Earth can decompose all of that energy. And not only does she decompose it, she recycles it to make brand new life force giving energy. So when we recycle that energy and we release it down into the earth, we're releasing it through the soles of our feet. And if you've done the studies, we actually do release the toxins off the soles of our feet. We actually do release electromagnetic waves and electrons through the soles of our feet. So when we're releasing that energy, if we direct that energy down and in through the body and out the soles of the feet and stomp it out down into the earth, that is the energetic way of also releasing our compost into the earth. We're letting that extra shit go. It's a real thing. So I offer that. We can try that right now and see how it feels. And this is where you get to think of something that you've been dealing with. Maybe you have your, a stretchy project that you're trying to get done. Maybe things haven't gone well at home. Maybe there's just a coworker that is just irritating, right? And you can just like kind of see them in your mind's eye and just offer that, like a prayer to them. I like to offer, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in that experience. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn how to move my energy. And what you can do is you can take that, and I like to just take my arms all the way up, just swoop it up, just like a Qigong movement. And I like to take it all the way in and breathe it out. Exhale it all the way down. And then stomp it out. And I don't know about you, but every time I start stomping, hell no, this is not going to go anymore, right? You get to, it like brings a smile. You're like, no way, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. That energy gets to go home to mother. Like that's where it's going. God's going to bring in some new energy, and I get to refurbish or replenish myself. Now, for women, here's another one. Somatic releasing, somatic expression. Down in your womb, you can grab down here. This space is where we get a lot of energy stuck here as women in our womb space. And so, Patrick, you can also teach this to your sisters and your friends and everything. Like we hold energy here. That's why we got the big booties, ladies. Okay. So don't blame all the cookies. But we have this energy down here because this is where we give life, and it's our portal. And if we're disconnected, then we're storing energy here. That is why the moon flow, every month, I consciously take my energy that's excess, that is other people's, that is pain, that is stories, and I allow it to go into that womb space, and I bleed that out with my moon flow. It's a way to release that energy out of the body. And again, when I'm on my moon, you can move and be very primal. But a somatic way to practice is offering sound and toning. And if you trust in your body, trust in yourself, you can give yourself the opportunity to find the tones that you need. So you can take a nice few breaths, and I'll demonstrate what I'm doing and talk about it. But it's hard to teach and talk and everything at the same time. So I close my eyes, and you can do this laying in bed at night. Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, oh, I imagine just laying there, kind of coming to stillness, to peace, to darkness, to the stars surrounding me, the cosmos. And I get into a place where I just breathe nice clean air in from the top, and then I exhale down into the womb. And then I like to, when I'm exhaling, hum. And this is a way to tone your own body. And you'll notice that you will have your own tones that want to come out. And if you just play with it, sometimes you can feel your own releasing of stagnant energies like this. Oh. So you can allow any tone. Sometimes when I need to raise my frequency because the lower ones aren't, I'm hitting depression, like do that when you're in a good light, the lower ones. If you're hitting depression, if you're hitting sadness, Like stress and anxiety go lower. Sadness and depression, you want to bring up frequencies up. And Patrick, you can do this too. For a man, your energy is really here in the solar plexus area. You can hit your diaphragm area and really do the same thing. If you hit right in there, and if you take your hands and your fingers under your rib cage, feel your diaphragm. Sometimes it gets locked up. And ladies, this one goes for us also. But you can feel your diaphragm. You can move over and bend. If it's tight, sometimes you can help your diaphragm unlock. Now, the higher tones, you can go, and a practice called Brahmari, you can put your fingers in your ears and go really high. And this actually helps to activate the pineal gland and bring endorphins and dopamines and all kinds of stuff. So you can go. You can imagine it being like honeybees sounding in your ears. And when you play around with these sounds, you'll find different activations. You can get nasal on it. You can get tonal. You can get into the throat and get guttural. You can play with these different tones. And oftentimes you'll find a tone that really feels good in your body. And you can even take your hands and put it on that area of your body that might be housing some energy that just needs to get, released. Now, last one is for Patrick. This is for men particularly. So with men, there is it breaks my heart. Like, men are such warriors on this planet, and we have this greatest opportunity to go back to our roots, to our indigenous roots. All of us are indigenous. And whether you're white skinned or brown skinned, you might be indigenous of Europe or Finland or Scandinavian or Iceland or British or Irish, or, just knowing your roots, your etymology. But if you look into those sacred threads of truth, primal expression for men is almost necessity. Women from all these indigenous tribes really were the ones that did the work. They managed the village. They did all the skinning, the cleaning, and all the things, right? But men were they were the hunters and the warriors. They protected us so that we could pray. And men would go out there and they would have these hunting parties. They would express and they would have initiations in these times. And you can see my body wanting to move, because even talking about it puts me in the feeling of it, right? For men, it's about being able to express primal expression of emotions. We women, we have emotions that are like as vast as the ocean and as far as the sea and the stars, right? But men, they don't. They can tap into all that, but their capacity for emotion, they're designed sacredly. They're designed sacredly to not have that war. That's our territory of battle, right? They're meant to stomp and to move and to be primal and to scream and to howl and to laugh and to beat each other on the back and all these things. And you can see it in little children. It's natural. It comes out natural when you watch them. They just like to wrestle. They grab each other. They chokehold each other. They're physical. They need touch so much, and they need verbal and physical expression. That is every indigenous man that has ever taught me has shown me these truths. And one of the ways that for men, even your masculine side, you can give yourself the opportunity to express. When you're angry, why not give yourself the ability to express anger? There's no words in expression of emotion. If you have words, you're not in your emotion, you're in your head. So when you express your anger, right? You get to express it and teach your body what that emotion feels like. Yeah, right? You get to literally say it and teach, because they've been taught through school in our Western culture that when they're angry, they have to smile and hold it in. Their literal body doesn't even know how to authentically process emotion. So when you have the ability to, I call it the shower practice. If you're in the shower and you don't want to freak people out, I freak people out, it's okay. You can practice the emotion role. Like, I am so happy. I am so sad. I don't feel good, right? You get to say it out loud. You get to tell yourself what you're feeling. Your body gets to learn. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, right? But for men, there's no expression. It's getting behind these screens. It's doing these things, right? I feel like a fight. I feel like a fight, right? You get to move. You're moving that solar plexus, that energy there. So I offer this. One of the greatest somatic techniques in therapy that I give my clients is I make the men that, especially that have trauma, that have stories, that have powerful messages, that have gone through so much, go out into the woods, stomp and holler and give yourself more physical expression. Don't be afraid to do, you ever watch play the game King Kong, you know, like Donkey Kong, right? Like when they slam down their hands on the ground and it pops out the banana, like, okay, I'm dating myself here, but so you get to slam your hands down on a pillow on the bed. You get to give yourself visceral physical expression as a practice, rather than, I mean, yoga and all the things are good, but men need a little bit more, like, it's a little bit more expressive in that way. It's in your face, you know, and if you're not doing that, that's how men kind of snap. And that goes for us too, ladies, with our masculine energies. So if you're operating in business and you're in your masculine, where you're controlling and you're pushing things forward and you're driving, and you have a bad phone call, as soon as you hang up, oh, not today. Whew, right? You get to just express it, rolling those shoulders. If you don't express it, then it hasn't processed the full circuit. Emotions take 90 seconds to process. So you're going to have stress. You're going to have struggles and everything, right? It's life. We're promised nothing, right? We are going to have these experiences. So when we do, how do you handle it? Sometimes we try to manage our mind and do all the right thing. Like, of course, if you're in the grocery line and someone keeps hitting you in the heel with their grocery cart, manage the mind, right? But when you get to your car, it's not hurting anyone to be conscious enough to release that energy off of your body. Like, and to finish the circuit, because that's what the initial reaction wants to be. So instead of denying yourself your authentic self, you get to complete the circuit and you get to shake it off. You get to be the cat that just fought. And now she's going to go lick the same cat in the butt. Like, I've watched this. I'm like, I don't understand. You just hated that cat. Now you're butt licking. It's weird. So creepy. That's a lot in Guatemala. Just warning you. Anyways, so I just offer that. Howling like a wolf is something that is very primal, and it's something that connects a lot of people. And if you are a woman or man and you're starting moon circles, or if you're doing holistic or somatic work or in any way, shape or form, howling is such a grand way, and it's almost socially accepted because enough of us are starting to do it. You get to say, let's just howl it out. Ow! Why do you think there's so many woo girls at concerts? Like, that is the thing. We naturally have this desire to use our voice, to use expression. And so more expression that you give yourself, the better your health is going to be, the less stress you're going to have. I used to, when I was a single mom, I was living in my truck with my kids. I had to try to find a place to live. I was hustling. I was working as much as I could, trying to like take care of everything. I was so stressed out. And I remember like when my boys would start fighting, which wasn't often. I was a lucky mom. I had really good kids, but when they would start fighting, it was just like this, you know, back and forth, tit for tat kind of stupid verbal stuff. And I would be driving and I'd be just like, I couldn't handle it. I would pull over the car and I would turn on music super loud, and I wouldn't go anywhere until they promised to dance. And we would dance. We would seat dance and like just let it all out. like all the stuff and the things, and like laugh and howl. And then finally, in a couple of minutes, you're forgetting why you were so stressed out. But not only did I not ignore the stress, I handled it and allowed it to finish its process by being released and expressed out of the body in a healthy way that also created more life. So I offer that to you real quick with a sweet, sweet, sweet love. I hope you howl. I hope you move. I hope you dance. I hope you give yourself permission to be angry, to feel all the things and express it as much as you can. Sending you guys so much love. I got to hop off. Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you, Margarita, for the time and the space. And it was an honor to share this with you.
Thank you so much for your time. I love you, and I'll connect with you after. Love you, girl. I'll see you at your show at 2:00.
Yes. Ciao.
Party. Oh my gosh. What beautiful wisdom and knowledge she just expressed, and gave us great tips and techniques on how to express our emotions and to be free. Which one of those were your favorite tips that she gave that you're going to try?
So I'll hop in here first. Mine was, being a man, since my, just all my trauma, I've had so much trauma in life, my childhood and stuff like that. I'm like, I took it as like, man, just the freedom of being able, because freedom for me is the biggest thing. It's like I'm always trapping myself. So it's like just expression, man, expressing, like yelling it out, screaming it out, whatever, except you name it, like cold showers, ice therapy, like journaling, darkness therapy. I meditate daily for years. Like just let it out. I like that one.
I love that. Gina, do you have something to share?
Yeah, I really, like, she just gave voice to a lot of things that I know are true. And I love that. Like, it was cool because I believe all those things, right? Like, and it was cool to hear it about how just express it, use your body, get it out, right? And yeah, it just awareness too, like I really actually, what I really loved was her talk about like our moon cycles, right? It's just like about presencing that, right? Because there's sort of often there's this like resistance and annoyance to our moon cycles, and she's like shifting it to the idea of like, okay, this is your opportunity to get rid of everything. And so just like be with your body, like enjoy the fact that your body is shedding excess energy that it doesn't need, instead of, oh, now I'm just creating a yucky mess I don't enjoy. Like, it's just shifting that whole energy about it to release and honor our bodies for the portals that they are, right? Like these are like intergalactic portals. And we just, it's like when you think about that, like this spirit is coming from a whole different planet, like, or a whole different dimension into this like physical world through my body, and honoring that our bodies for that. Like, this is a child of God that is like, this body can create children of God. And then for me, I'm not like, I'm in the space where I have 4 beautiful children, and like just really presencing them and like connecting with them at that soul level, I think is just a beautiful invitation to a higher consciousness of thinking.
What a great way to also infuse self-love. Doing that. But yeah, I definitely am going to take that tip of releasing unwanted emotions or emotional charges or situations with my moon cycle. And coincidentally, I started my moon cycle right before this. So I'm like, what? It's not a coincidence. But anyways, does anybody else, any other takeaways from the other speakers that you heard today that you're going to implement in your life, or that you were so grateful to hear to receive the information? Anybody want to share?
I just love the practicality of it all, really, and the invitation to begin thinking about it. Let's not be passive. Let's not just consume information, but what does that get to look like? What's the very next small step, right? Like that better than the expression of emotion. And really for us, I guess I just, as the speakers, and I know, Margarita, this was your vision, it's just not for us. It's for everyone we meet, everyone that we're blessed to share a space, a glance, a smile with. So wow. I love it. I love the tools for me, the small steps that I also get to share with others. My heart is full.
Oh, yes. Practicality is key. That was one of the things I noticed too, especially at the holidays. It's like another to-do list, another have to, should. You know, I keep telling people, stop shoulding all over yourself. You know? Right? And so it's great when you can see the easy implementation of what you're already doing, right? And the invitation to just go within. Because as I said earlier in the beginning of the call, it's transformation. True transformation begins with you. When you change, your surroundings change. Your experience of the world change, and even to the point where people start shifting their ways of being around you. And I've noticed that with my husband. You know, I stay grounded in my authenticity, and I stay neutral, and I see him in his pain and his fear and his, you know, his rackets, his limiting beliefs. And I have so much empathy and compassion for that it allows me to just say what I want to say without being combative or confrontational or any of that sense. And it actually shifts him. And it gets to the point where like 5 minutes later, he comes and apologizes, which has never been my experience of him up until now. I mean, he does apologize, but like very rarely in the times when it's this situation that he's apologizing for now. So it's very powerful when you start doing the work yourself, how your whole entire life starts unfolding in the purpose that it's meant for. When you start to really align with who you truly are, that your world starts to kind of just align itself and have more harmony. And this is what we're up to here in these 3 days, is finding harmony and peace and igniting that innate joy that we chipped away at for many, many years. And it starts with us going primal. It starts with us screaming it out. And then it's us doing those 7 tips that Danielle taught us on how to have a joy and abundant life. 7 easy tips that you can implement today. And what Janet shared is amazing, like better than, like how many other topics you can do the better than.
Correct.
And implement better than in anything. And I just love that concept of, okay, well, I did this today. What's a better than version? Or what's an option that is better than this? And like, I love that. I love being able to be there, but being neutral and not having expectation, right, of what it looks like. Because then we get into self beat up. And then that's just our limiting beliefs getting a hold of us again. But this was a really just humbling and beautiful experience to be here. And I just love how everybody was so engaged in their talk that they all went over 15 minutes. So that's a good note for me to be like, all right, well, I get to give them a half hour and say that they get 15 minutes. or I just take command in the call. But I just loved, because it was so engaging, and I know a lot of us still have nerves of being here and speaking our passion and our word and sharing it with the world. And I just wanted this space to be a safe space for all of us to be able to come here and giving generosity and say, hey, look, I got some really cool things I want to share with the world because it helped me. And so for me, like, the last thing I want to end everybody with today is to have grace with yourself. Trust that you are where you're supposed to be, and that everything that you've experienced up until now is helped to form and build upon your character and who you are. And when you can start seeing the pain as a purposeful message to share with the world, it starts looking like a blessing. I thought I was cursed. I thought I was like, oh my gosh, why is it that I feel like I have this purpose to share with the world, but the world is attacking me? I'm the victim of the world. And I started not even feeling worthy of life, where I was just not eating, not taking care of myself, not even being present. I stopped connecting with my family and friends. And And so it's really easy. It's really easy to be hard on ourselves, because that is what we've done up until now. And there's comfort in that. There's comfort in that because even though you're uncomfortable and you hate it, you know it, you're familiar with it. And when you're able to push yourself past that place of uncomfortableness, that's where the breakthrough lies on the other side. That's where your treasure is lying. It's waiting for you. So when you're scared of going into that dark cave, just know there's a treasure there waiting for you. And if you need support, if you need someone to hold your hand, ask for it. I'm sure somebody next to you has a flashlight to help you get in that cave. But you get to get in that cave, be bold, be brave, and say yes, say choose life, choose you. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow and Friday. We have another lineup of amazing leaders. I still have a couple openings tomorrow if anyone's interested in jumping in. I'd love to have you. Okay, Gina, we'll connect up this. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here in your generous giving and receiving this information as a gift as well. And so I just want to honor you for taking the time to choose you. So celebrate that.
Thank you for your giving, Margarita.
It's my pleasure. Any questions before we go? I want to honor your time, but if you guys have any questions, I can stick around for another couple minutes. Anything that you thought you wanted to hear today? I did have a bunch of stuff that I had set up, and I was like, wow, my job was actually easier today than I thought. But I want to leave you guys with like an energy freedom tapping. So perhaps tomorrow I'll start the day with that energy freedom tapping, and we'll talk about like what the biggest limiting belief is that we have, so that we can finally diminish the emotional charge and the triggers that it has a hold on us. Because what EFT does is it helps to reprogram your nervous system, and it helps to process unprocessed emotions, heavy charged emotions, to where you can be at a place of neutrality. And so you start to feel like you're seeing your story as an outside person. You're no longer the person who's the victim of the story. You're just the person telling the story now. And that's a place of transformation where endless and boundless opportunities await you. So I look forward to what your future has in store for you so that you can live your best life, because life is now. Choose it. All right, my friends, love you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Love you
yes.
too.
Be
Thank
the
you. God
chooser.
bless.
Be the chooser.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Patrick.
Ellen.
Patrick, can you just like record me like an affirmation video or something? I just want to like listen to your voice all the time. It's so good.
Turn your pain into your purpose. Your mess
I
into
love
your
it.
message. Your
Oh,
mess
yes.
into your message. Speak it.
Awesome.
Being is freeing. Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
God bless.